Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, Goglings. Welcome, Gogorifics. Gog peoples of the world unite. I hope everyone is doing well. And welcome all to, where is it? Pen and Pixels. Welcome to episode 303 of Pen and Pixels and to our monthly game of Talisman Adventures. We are sponsored, as always, by Pegasus Spiele, the maker of Talisman Adventures. And thank you all for being here. We're getting started a little bit later today. This has been a hell of a month, people. It's been a hell of a year. It's been a hell of a month. It's been a lot. And so we are doing all the best that we can, but there's all kinds of stuff that I can't even get into. But we're all managing. We're getting along here, and we are very excited, of course, to be able to play this game and to hang out with each other and to hang out with all of you. As always, if you haven't already done so, please follow us here on GogCom's Twitch channel. That is always appreciated. You can get a lot of information and about when the streams go live. And of course, we have many, many streamers doing lots of cool different games for you on GOG on a weekly basis. So you should actually on a daily basis. So you should check that out by following us. Subscribing to the channel is always appreciated because it supports all the streamers on this channel. Plus, it supports the DRM free community that we have here on GOG.com. And you can get those awesome custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. And if you haven't done so already, please consider clicking through to our individual channels as well, because we have our own individual subsystems and Patreons and stuff like that. Right up now, we've got Talisman Adventures, which I'm very excited about. And then leading a little bit later on, let me see, I think right here, nope, that's completely wrong. It's supposed to be next. I'm thinking of my own channel. So tomorrow we have got Lore Witchy, who's going to be adding some Destroy All Humans. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But we're going to be closing up shop today. I imagine we're going to be probably not going much beyond 7 p.m. Eastern, because I have stuff that I've got to pick up. I've got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of the players have stuff to do. We're all managing somehow here. How are you? So we're getting there, but that is the deal that we're looking at. So I am going to unmute myself to let the folks know that we're ready to go. I will apologize, as always, for interrupting them with whatever awesome thing they were talking about. And then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to slide on over to reveal. The crew is before you. We're all here somehow. We're here in various stages of child care, of health, of various states of things. Like I said, it's been quite a year, quite a 2021, and it's almost over, thank God. But before we get to the end of the year, we do have some gameplay to go through, and so I am, as always, going to welcome my amazing and awesome Talisman Adventures crew, and I will begin with the person who's right below us here in the column, starting with the wonderful GOG stream team leader of Pyron Jade, who is here with us. It's good to see you, Pyron. We were just hearing details about the German approach to Halloween, which is not normally what I was. It fit actually some of what I thought of Germany, but not all of what I thought of Germany. And so now I know all the details, and I know what not to do if I ever decide to trick or treat in Germany during Halloween. Pyron, how are you, and who are you playing today?
I am finally nearly over my cold, still only like coughing a little bit, but yes.
You sound much better.
Getting there. Still tired, but still, yeah, I'm gonna beat it finally. But I've now infected Ebenezer, who's sick home, so.
he's even a little cheerful about that. Like, now Ebenezer's got it. like
it's the kind of cheerfulness, like, this is fine.
Yeah, everything is fine. Yes. Yes,
Pyron Jade is from Germany. From Germany. Yeah. Yes, I'm from Germany. Yes, and actually we can. The thing we just talked about is that 8-bit is so nice that if you play a multiplayer game with 8-bit, you feel bad if you do something mean to him. That was what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
But yep. So that's like really important that everybody knows this. So I am playing Regina Augusta III, who is a sprite, but also a warrior. Actually, she's a sprite in exile, because there was an incident at these fairy court, and well, we didn't talk about that. And I think she's currently actually having quite a good time. There's going to be fighting to be had. I think we're nearing a boss fight, or at least a mid-boss fight or something. So yeah, let's have at it.
Yes, especially because Regina, as we'll talk about during the recap session, or the recap part in a little bit, is partially responsible for having reduced the number of people they had to fight because of not just a good or a regular or a standard or a great success, but an extraordinary success of causing the roof to cave in. And so that eliminated a lot of threats and also eliminated an exit. But I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure that's not a problem.
We didn't know who needs an exit. So for those of you who don't know Regina and you can't really picture her, think of Tinkerbell. If Tinkerbell was more like a bumblebee and heavily armed and really mean and sometimes drunk, like a very angry, heavily armed, drunk bumblebee.
Tinkerbell.
So that's Regina.
Clap if you believe in them, chat. Clap if you believe in her. But it is very good to have Pyre and Jade with us as always, and it is also good to have with us one Mr. Darksaber 2K, who I will again publicly thank for getting all of the behind the scenes stuff ready for this, because good Christ, I was just not able to do that today. So thank you as always, Saber, for that.
Anytime.
And also, I am glad to see that you have recovered from your Talisman incident. Now, I need to mention here, because we are playing Talisman Adventures, that Talisman and Pyron recently played a game of Talisman. And I was interested, and the minute we came on, I think it was Saber actually said, well, I see that you finally recovered, and something about a betrayal somewhere. So I was like, what happened? And so the story, the sad story, it should be said, which Saber spins, involves an assassination, an unfair misunderstanding, spending many hours as a ghost, and left out of this story is the theft which preceded these series of events. And
Incidental theft.
Incidental theft, yes. Just accidentally steal something.
It was friendly fire. I was aiming at someone else.
Yes, which seems to be the way that Talisman games go these days. So I'm curious if you've recovered from your harrowing experience as a ghost, Saber, and I'm also curious who you're playing today.
I knew as soon as the spell hit the wrong target, and that target was Pyron, that this was not going to go away quietly for the rest of the game.
For the rest of the week, apparently.
Basically, all the other players decided, hey, let's gang up on Saber over this incident. And I got mauled by werewolves. And then when my last life, Pyron spent her last gold piece to assassinate me. And then I kept coming back from being a ghost and then dying immediately again and going back to being a ghost. And
it's tragic.
In the end, I just got myself killed off and came back as a jester.
Yes. And Pyron, I think, won the game, didn't she? Oh, you didn't win the game?
We still don't have a good track record of winning games with Talisman.
Okay. Right. It's just you play until eventually you get too tired and then you're like, I can't do it.
We usually hit a point where we try and declare someone did the best.
Yes.
And then we declare them the winner.
Yes. This is like the Monopoly theory of things. All right. Well, I'm
sorry
for your devastating experience, but I'm glad that you managed to get through it somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be watching my background Regina tonight, but...
Right, exactly. He's just like, can I go over and assist him? He's like, instead, what if I stab him in the back? Really? I mean, no. I mean, not at all. I wouldn't.
Well, we might already have a cave dropping on our head.
True.
So there is that.
True. Who are you playing within this cave?
In this cave, I will be Reginald Shoon. I am a ghoul gravekeeper and a student of the Druids who mostly bemused and has kind of gone along with the flow of things. He just has been swept up in events, mostly from his nice quiet graveyard, and one thing's led to another, and now there's a cave collapsing on his head and some very angry kobolds in front of him.
Yeah. But I'm sure it'll be fine. That's just a standard. That's just a Tuesday, people. It's just a Tuesday. Yep. So always a pleasure to have Darksaber with us. Also, always a pleasure to have Mike with us. Mike, I hope you're hanging in there okay, and you're managing. It's good to see you. How is life in the universe? And actually, if you've shown me this before and I've forgotten, I apologize, but there's a map on the wall behind you. What is the map of?
That's a map of Candlekeep.
Oh, map of Candlekeep.
So this was in Candlekeep Mysteries, a book which I owned for a solid 6 months before turning to the back page and realizing there was a giant map in it. So I just thought I have to at least stick it up just to know if I want it stuck up on the wall or the sloped ceiling before I actually frame it. So
yep, that's awesome. That's really cool.
And obviously, as with many of us D&D fans, Candlekeep has a very special place in my heart because the original Baldur's Gate video game on PC was my first real introduction to proper D&D games. So that's a special thing for me. But how am I at the life and universe and everything? I'm all right. I've got a bit of a headache today that hasn't really shifted. It's mixed between horrible eye pain and migraine for the last 12 hours. So I'm going to be probably not as animated as I normally am. I'm also probably going to be screwing with my lights every now and then just to make sure I'm not going to make it any worse. But I am here in the form of Ashflower, the Laywalker assassin, who I believe has just charged, because I'd completely forgotten what had happened until someone posted out a tweet saying it's boss fight time. And I was like, uh-oh. I believe I've just charged forward, antlers blazing into the boss arena, which probably isn't the best thing for an assassin to do, but I guess we'll see how that plays out.
We are going to see how that plays out, and yes, I am interested to see that. I hadn't thought of the antlers blazing part, but that seems appropriate. And always a pleasure to have Mike with us. And I'm going to say both to Mike and to Chai publicly what I mentioned privately, which is if, as a consequence of either health concerns or childcare concerns, one or the both of you are just like, you know what, I can't manage it. We will manage. We'll survive. I'll come up with something else. So please do not, don't be heroes on this score. If this is something that you're getting value out of because you really love playing with us, great. Then that's cool. But please do not feel like you have to stick it out, even if you feel like you're having an ice pick driven through your head. So thank you, Mike, and I hope you feel better throughout this time as the antlers come in blazing. And last but certainly not least, we have the somewhat changed Tasty Chai. You can see that now that Chai is wearing glasses, that's not the difference. Exactly what I can't, but it looks very good. The new hairstyle looks very good, Chai. And also we've got a couple of kids that are being dealt with. And I again, if you have to bail, I understand. But how are you doing, Chai? How's life with you and who are you playing in this game?
Well, so when Pyron asked me how life was, I did that gif that everyone knows of "this is fine" and there's fire everywhere.
Yeah, the dog.
That's kind of how my life is right now. But I'm managing. Everything's fine. Yes, we decided to donate our hair. Mr. Chai cut his too. His was very long. And so somebody is going to get a beautiful auburn wig. And I'm very, very proud of him for doing that.
That's cool.
And I also cut mine off to donate as well. That'll probably be 2 or 3 wigs. So, because it was literally getting caught in my pants when I pulled my pants up.
Wow.
So very long. I just looked down to see all of the markers that I own, sans lids, right at my feet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to take the markers lids off. That's the key, and not use them. That's all.
Now I have to go through and put all the lids back on, so that way she can be occupied for another 20 minutes taking them all off. Yes, Wolf. So that's exactly me right now. Anyway, that's pretty much life. You just get through every day as best you can. I'm playing Muriel, an elven prophetess who I don't remember if I foresaw this boss fight, but I'm probably not going to be super helpful. Unless, did we have a rest? Oh, we did. Now I'm going to be really helpful. I have spell points.
Yes, you did.
That's basically my line, if I have spell points or not.
Yes, I believe you did have a rest. Because it happened before you actually came down into this cavern. So I am very excited to see how Muriel, Ashflower, Reginald, and Regina deal with this situation in front of them. And with no further ado, let's fire up some music and let's talk about what we've got going on. Oh, I immediately fire up, in case you're ever curious about what's going on, you can just look at the music that's playing. See, when I first start up Roll20, I always have to stop and start it again to get the music to run. So right now we have Cavern of Lost Souls, Goblin's Cave, Ice Cavern, and Volcano. So as you can see, everything is just fine. These are all part of the normal process of events.
Everything's absolutely fine.
And that's all it is. Okay, now there we go. Now we got the sound coming up. Now we're good to go. Okay. $5 says the bad guys win this one. Wow, Norway. Seriously? Wow. I see how it is.
I'll take that.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what happened in our last session, folks. In our last session, the wonderful adventurers of Regina, Reginald, Ashflower, and Muriel were making their way into the heart of this mountain. And the reason that they were doing this was not because of interest in mountaineering per se. The reason they were doing this was because they had been sent there by the residents of a small mining village called Dewberry. This village normally would not have occupied a lot of attention, except that there were rumors that there was something weird going on in the town. And indeed, they found that that was indeed the case, because when they got there, they discovered that many of the people in the town, specifically all of the miners, not minors as in young people, but miners as in people with pickaxes and shovels, etc., had been turned into toads. And the village was understandably upset about this turn of events. And so the adventurers heroically decided to go into the mines, and to discover what it is that was wrong and what was causing this problem to happen. They had an incident with a mine cart and a rather quick travel down to the center of the track and then over the track and over to the other side of it and so forth. And there they found the Toad King, who explained to them in a very low and croaky voice that he had been the one who had turned the people, that turned the miners into toads, because they had broken into a cavern with diamonds, and the diamonds are his, and so anyone who touched the diamonds were turned into toads because that's what they deserve, because they're his diamonds. But there was a problem, the Toad King says, and an opportunity for the characters to get the miners back to their normal selves, because there are also creatures down in these mines who are apparently immune to the Toad King's magic. Kobolds that have been coming in and raiding the cavern and taking the diamonds, and obviously that cannot be accepted. And so the Toad King made a deal with the party and said if the party is able to clear the cavern of these kobolds, is able to eliminate the kobold threat, then he would in turn restore the miners to their former mining non-toad glory. And so the party agreed to this and ended up going through into further into the caverns, where they discovered a number of things. They discovered a chamber of bats, which turned out to be zero threat thanks to a well-placed gust of wind. They ran into a pit, which turned out to be an enormous threat because nobody could escape it, and everyone kept trying to get out of it and falling it and causing all these problems. Then they got to the other side and encountered some kobolds, and were eventually able to make their way down a secret passageway into a waterfall, the other side of a waterfall. And on the other side of this waterfall, there was a large chamber in which there were many kobolds that could be found there. And so the party had a good idea. Rather than dealing with all these kobolds and trying to fight them all, the party thought that they could use some carefully placed environmental effects. Specifically, they would try to make the roof cave in. Regina was responsible for this with her sling, and did not a standard or a good, but an extraordinary success, meaning that Regina did so well that the entire roof did indeed cave in, did kill and or shut off most of the kobolds, leaving only 2 remaining figures that the party had to worry about. The first of them was this guy, Gorbash, who called himself Gorbash the the Kobold Lord, who was responsible for what happened here and felt like he had basically been challenged by them, and that meant that he would need to fight them. That was the first thing that he saw. And then right behind them, they saw another kobold who was dressed in a hood, I believe red robes, if I had described that properly, who was beginning to trace arcane symbols in the air behind the enormous, for a kobold, figure of Gorbash. And those 2 figures together faced the party. The good news, all of the other kobolds seem to be dead, or at least many of them. The bad news, there is no escape from Gorbash and whoever this other, kobold wizard person thing is. And so the party is going to have to decide what they want to do about that after they have a chance to deal with this situation. And so we are dealing with Gorbash, the Kobold Lord. So as I hand things back over to the party, I will say that you can see the hooded figure starting to make these arcane symbols in the air. You can see Gorbash right there with his club, his spiked club in his hand, he is as tall as Ashflower is, again, 3 times the size of any normal kobold. And now I'm going to hand things back over to the party and say, I've described what you see in front of you. What would you like to do?
I think I speak for everyone here when I say panic. General panic.
Outstanding.
Alarm.
Alarm. Awooga.
Yeah.
Regina knows that you should take down the mage. But on the other hand, that other guy looks like somebody she really, really wants to hit. So that's a problem for her here. So she's she's brandishing her spear, two-handed, and is like pointing it at the one, pointing it at the other, and definitely unsure who to charge right now.
Okay. Reginald, what are we looking at from you as you're looking at the situation?
Is pretty much the same, sort of assessing both targets and seeing that they are both equally dangerous in different ways, and not prepared to make the first move at this time.
Okay.
Well, somebody could aim their warrior sprites in the right direction and shoot.
Okay. So, given this situation, I think it's time for us to get a little bit of combat music going on here. So, let's stop the Cavern of Lost Souls for a minute.
I like to think that as Ashflower kind of rolls into the room and we all kind of Avengers Assemble, there's like an Avengers Assemble line of us all drawing weapons against what was the big kobold's name?
Gorbash.
Gorbash, thank you. So Gorbash and his smaller arcane friend, I like to think that Ashflower sort of goes, the small one stinks of magic, beware of that one.
All right.
I'm the Light Fate Fairy. Remember to add your Light Fate for the start of the session.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you each have one
I
light
need to
fate. No, not each of you. Sorry. Regina has one light fate. Some of you have two, right? You start with two.
I have two.
I have two.
I have one.
I have two.
Yeah, Regina and Ashflower took a perk for two.
Start with two. Okay.
As I have a well documented book to.
Yeah, I need to refresh my memory on how I cast spells.
Okay.
Oh, I
I'm just
forgot
gonna
to
use
take out my
my,
book.
It's been a while, and there's been a lot of D&D between these sessions.
Yes,
I'm just
true.
going to use my amazing focus my amazing light fate tokens that came
very
with
nice.
my hardback rulebook from Pegasus Spieler. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pegasus Spielen.
I want another map as well, just in case anyone was wondering. That's probably going to go there.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to, inspired by Mike here, I'm going to pop out my 2, 3, and 4. We're just going to pop out my my Dark Fate. Excuse me, sorry. My Dark Fate. There we go. Come on, camera, focus. You can do it. Camera's like, no, it's not your
we
face.
believe in you, camera. We believe in you.
You
There
can't
we go.
see the dark.
There we
Dark
go.
Fate.
It's so dark.
Mine are still mint in package.
This is the Dark Fate.
Mine, do you
I'll
know
lose
if
them.
if you pop them out of the cardboard, they pop back in.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, that's nice. They are pretty chunky
what I keep
cardboard,
doing.
to be
Yeah,
fair.
no, that's what I keep doing. Look, I keep just popping them straight back into the cardboard after sessions.
That's basically what I was doing as well.
Also,
I was really pleased with
just
that.
because it's to hand. The
Yeah, video
Ah, yes,
game
the-
map gang.
It's very true. Okay.
Thank you, Pegasus Stealer.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over to the side. Okay, so the way this works, chat, for those people who are clear about how this stuff works or have not seen combat before, a couple of things to keep in mind here. First of all, we have step 1 of combat is engagement.
Nope.
So we have to determine the circumstances of the combat. There are no surprise tests necessary. I think maybe generally everybody's surprised at these circumstances, but not specifically to this. So that moves us into step 2. And in step 2, we deal here with the character action phase. And this means that you're going to get to decide, all of them will get to decide which action the character takes. These are typically full actions, and they can decide what order in which they wish to take them. So as far as position is concerned, just so we're clear, you have a bunch of, you're basically standing right inside this smaller little chamber, which is off of the big chamber, which is at the moment covered with rubble as a consequence of a certain sprite's extraordinary success in knocking down the entire roof. So there is no movement from behind you other than just dust and debris. In front of you is the threat, and you have Gorbash and this other figure that's in a hood. Those are the two that you see. The one in a hood is considerably behind Gorbash, but they're inside this room. Not a large room, probably like 30 by 30 maybe, might be the way to describe it. And one thing I can tell you for sure is that inside this room, Inside this room, you have got what is a cooking fire. There are a bunch of what look like scattered cookery implements, and there is what looks like a mound of refuse. Also, a couple of a few well-fed rats, from what you can tell, that are just kind of hanging out near the walls. They seem to be very comfortable, like well-fed dogs or cats, just rats, And there's one corner of the chamber which has what looks like bedding and a large locked chest. At least we should. Well, actually, you can't tell that it's locked, but you can. Well, yes, you can, because there's a big lock on it. So never mind. Yes, you can. A large locked chest, and on the other corner, there is what looks like a table with a set of books on it. So basically, fire, pots and pans all over the place, a mound of garbage, a couple of well-fed rats lounging around, and then in the far left corner, you've got bedding, straw basically, and a bedroll on the ground, and this large chest that I mentioned. And on the right side of the room, the back right side, you've got this table with some books on it. So that's what we're looking at as far as position is concerned. So that's the case with that. Also, there is a passage, one passage. I mentioned that there wasn't an exit, but that's not actually entirely true. There is one passage in the eastern wall, so not the one you came from. There's another small passage that seems to be leading out of the room, but you have no idea what you have no idea where that leads to, obviously. So that's the deal with that. So the question is, where does the party basically want to be? Because you can move up to your speed to engage an enemy, or you can move to another location. So as you first come in, I would say that you're about maybe 20 feet from Gorbash, who is standing in front of the cooking fire, and the wizard is probably 20 feet behind Gorbash, so on the other side of the fire, doing all the arcane symbols and things. So where would the party like to be position-wise?
I would like to be, in front of the mage kobold with my spear in his guts.
Okay, so, well...
I would need to be behind Regina by about 30 feet.
I was going to say, so that's... so I can't start you exactly on that spot.
No.
I can have you move there, but the idea is that's where you're heading, right? Is you want to get to the mage.
The question is, can I reach the mage in one move and still poke it?
I think probably. What's your speed, Regina?
My speed is 14 and I ignore terrain.
Yes, I would say because you ignore terrain, yes, I think you can get there. I think the other ones have the problem of having a big kobold plus a fire plus a bunch of pots and pans in front of you. But yes, I would say that you could probably reach her.
Then that's absolutely definitely my plan. Well, plan in very, Regina kind of plan.
In quotes. What about Ashflower? Reginald is sort of making, kind of sizing things up, I believe. So Ashflower and Muriel, where would the two of you like to be just as we start up here with combat?
I'm gonna stay where I am, because as long as I'm within 100 meters of a thing, I'm going to set it on fire.
Okay, you are definitely going to be within 100 meters of that. Yes, I forgot about that. 30 by 30, so that means we're looking at 3 feet to a meter, right? So we're looking at about 10 by 10 meters, I think is about right. I hope I got that right. I look.
It's hard. We'll just go with it.
I was gonna say. I look at the German to see if that makes any sense to the German who actually knows meters in a way that I don't.
3 feet to a meter, isn't it?
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah, about roughly.
Okay.
One Celsic.
What? That's right. A few Celsics. Okay. So that's what Muriel's doing. Ashflower, what about you? I know you said you were going in antlers blazing, but is that, is that metaphorical or actual?
No, I assumed we all did that sort of like assembling near the doorway thing and then kind of scoped out the situation and then now decided where we're going to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move sideways. I want to be able to see the caster without any obstructions, but I don't want to be within thwacking distance of Gorbash.
So to do that, the issue is that Gorbash, so you've got Gorbash, the fire, and then the wizard person. So to get to the wizard person, you've got to go around
I don't need to
Gorbash.
get to them. I just want to see them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you can see them if you sort of shift right or left.
Yeah. So if I go to one of the walls, preferably the wall that doesn't have the rats near it, just in case.
Okay.
They're like pet guard rats.
Right. Maybe.
So
Okay.
so would that be the left wall or the right wall?
That would be the left wall. The rats
the
are
left
hanging out towards the. I mean, obviously they're mobile, but at the moment they're on the right side.
Yeah. No, that's fine. So I'm gonna go. Basically, I'm gonna go hug the left wall so I can see the caster without any obstructions.
Okay. All right. And so we've got that all established. All right. Who wants to go? Let's talk about order. Who's going first, second, third, and fourth?
I would like to go after melee at the very least.
Okay.
Hey. I'm melee, so I go first.
Well, I'm gonna go ranged. So whoever wants to go before or after ranged, let me know.
I'm just gonna set fires, so I don't really care when I go.
I will go after the. I'll go after the fire's been set then.
Okay. So we're
Okay.
talking. Regina
Melee.
would be one. So Muriel would be 2. Reginald 3. Ashflower 4. Does
Yeah,
that sound
why not?
right?
Yeah,
That sounds
okay.
all right.
Okay. All right. Quick note, by the way, to the players and to chat. I also, as you know, have 4 Dark Fate. Not that that's going to come up in the use against Gorbash, the Kobold Lord, but I'm just saying.
No, of course not.
Okay.
Doubt.
Yeah. Press obvious to doubt. Okay, so Ashflower and I said Ashflower goes last, right? Reginald's third.
Yes, I
Okay,
go
all right.
last. Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's get this moving. Let us start then with Regina. So Regina, what I'm going to ask you to do, so you fly in on this thing, and as you move in, you can see that it looks to be, if you had to guess, something about the eyebrows and about the nature of it means you're dealing with what looks like probably a female kobold. And you also see a redness glowing in the eyes of this creature as you move up on her. And sort of Gorbash kind of like, roar. Sorry, he does this. Roar. He has to do that because he's, cavern. And so you go over his head and sort of come down to where she is. And so she is standing there tracing away. So now I'm going to have you make your melee attack. And we're going to see what happens with your attempt to defeat it. So I'm going to have you make a test. I believe we're looking at, I think this is strength test. Probably brawn.
I have spears, so I'm not gonna hit her. I'm gonna attack her with my spear. So I'm gonna use spear, and spear have the government attribute of agility.
Okay, so you're using agility test. All right, so let's do that.
So yeah, and I'm using a 2-handed weapon with both hands, as I
Okay.
said. But that's coming up if I actually hit. So I do have the skill.
Okay.
I do have the.
Oh
and
yeah,
I
I gotta
do
pull
have
the thing up.
folk.
You gotta pull the thing up. Yeah. Gotta pull up the flow chart. RPG skill checks. Yes, this of course is Pyron's amazing work. You do have the skill. Yes. You do have the focus.
I do have the focus.
Yes. So 3d6
So
plus
I-
aspect plus 2.
Yes, 3d6 plus aspect plus 2. I'm just quickly looking that I don't look if I don't have not forgotten anything else from my warrior things. Can wield a 2-handed weapon, blah blah blah, 2 in both hands. Defense test. No, we're not doing a defense test right now. We're doing a tech test. And this is fun. Okay, yeah, so it should be. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, here. 3d6 plus 4 for my agility, plus 2 because I do have the focus. Right?
That's correct.
Everybody in agreement? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was not ideal.
Yep. Unfortunately, so you do this, and sadly, that is not a hit.
Maybe I was too fast. I just flew by.
Yeah, exactly. You're overshot. Okay. So on a failure, it means the enemy that you're attacking hits you for its full damage. So let's talk about what that damage is. So as you try to move in, the arcane sort of movement in the air stops for a moment, and almost as fast as faster than you can see, a scaly hand flicks down to the belt and draws a wicked dagger and strikes out at you. And let's see, that is going to be... okay, that is... Okay, so that is going to be 2 points of damage. However, you've got other stuff that you've got. First of all, I think we've got armor, right?
Sorry. Yes, I've got still left of my armor 10 points.
Okay, so that means that you are going to take, I believe we said, if I remember correctly, 2 points off that armor. And one of those is now, like the first one of those is marked like double X'd, you know? And so
One
none
is
of that
lost
damage
forever.
gets through. You've got 8 armor left now for the rest of this fight. And so that happens. Okay, so your opponent hits you for full damage. You inflict no damage on your target. All right. And let's see. Once that's done, I want to make sure if they have a response with that. Okay. Right, got it. Okay. Okay. All right. So that is the unfortunate result of Regina's attempted attack. Okay. Next up is Muriel. And by the way, chat, in case you're new to this system, in this system, combat happens in a simultaneous way. So it's not one person goes, enemy goes, another person goes, enemy goes. Technically, the enemy reacts on the same turn, and the combat handles both of them, although there are certain exceptions to this, which we may or may not run into depending on how the fight goes. So next up is Muriel, who is about to do something to the entire room or something, from what I understand.
No, not the whole room. I just want to, actually I need to ask first.
Okay.
Is the mage wearing clothes?
The mage is wearing a robe.
That counts, because the robes are clothes, and clothes are flammable. So we're gonna curse to flame those clothes.
Okay. So yes, you've used this to good effect in previous experiences.
Except that my roll sucked. 15. I don't think I got it.
So let's see. Yeah, that's not enough. So the flame shoots and the creature sort of slides right out of the way. And sorry, I need an echo.
Yeah, well, it's lame. We'll try again next time.
And so does not work, but it is a good idea. And the one sort of glares at you. So as a reaction to that, let's see. Did you get the opportunity to... That happens in that event. The enemy I believe the enemy gets to attack. Yes. So the enemy gets to attack. They all got a failure. So can respond to as many attacks that are made against it. Okay. So that means that this one finishes their arcane spell that you're there, and is going to. Yeah. All right, is going to finish their spells and then points her hand at you, Muriel, and a jagged line of light shoots out. This is in response to your attack towards you, and you hear a and the smell of sulfur fills the chamber as a lightning bolt is cast upon you. So let's see. You need to make an athletics test against the Kobold Wizard's threat rating, but wait. What is this on the horizon? I see a dark fate, chat. I see a dark fate that I can use to increase that threat. And I think that's what they're going to do, because these are, as has been mentioned, boss creatures. So I think it's reasonable that they're going to Dark Souls this instance. And so just give me a second, because I want to make sure how much I'm adding to that threat. Let's see. Yes, to increase by 1d6. Lovely. So we're going to do that. Great. Okay. So I now know the threat. So you are going to need to make an athletics or agility test against the Kobold Wizard's threat rating. And so you don't know what that threat rating is, but we'll see how this happens. So, Muriel, question is, do you have athletics?
No, I'm a scholar.
Okay. Right. So you're going to make an agility test. So that means that we're just looking at 3d6 because you do not have a focus in this skill either. So 3d6. Roll high. Well, not as high as we might have hoped. Yes.
Nope.
Zap. All right. You are going to take damage. Let's see. That's going to be. Oh. Okay. That's a lot. So you are going to take 10 points of damage, but we're about to see whether your armor will protect from any of that. You do have armor, yes?
Yes, I'm wearing leather armor.
Okay. So, let's see. So, you're wearing leather armor. How many points does that give you? Do you know? Does it say? All right, let me take a look. Is it 4?
It's 4.
I'm looking. Oh, it is 4.
Standard leather armor is 4 points of protection.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mike. So,
Sorry, I just had to look because I'm wearing exactly the same, and I'm like, well, I'm going to need this number in a few minutes.
okay. So, that means that we are looking at, so that's 10 minus the 4. So that means 6 points are going to get through to you, Muriel. Also, you need to X out one of the armor and then slash out the remaining. So all 4 of them have been used up, and one of them now needs to be repaired later, but you'll worry about later. Right now, we'll just talk about the fact that you were down to, if I have this correct, 3 out of 13 life, because I had you at 9 out of 13. So, yes, that was most unfortunate.
Yeah, this is why you don't take scholars with.
Yeah, okay. And then that one looks at you in the hood and goes, and cackles at you. Okay, Reginald, I believe you are up next. You've just seen a lightning bolt go off. It's bad.
So Ashflower went to the right away from the rats, I believe.
To the left,
Yep,
away
that's
from the
me.
rats.
Oh, to the left. Okay, so I'm going to go to the right towards the rats, trying to keep them both in line of sight. But particularly, what's his name? Big Boy.
Gorbash.
Gorbash.
Stop
yes.
forgetting my awesome echoey name.
Did he actually introduce himself?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Gorbash, Kobold Lord.
I'll just call you Longshanks.
God damn it. All right.
And I pull back my sleeves, draw my hands back, and I am attempting to shatter Gorbash's club.
Oh, interesting. Oh, man.
Well, if it's non-magical, at least.
Right. That's exactly what I need to check right now. Let's see. I should mention, by the way, it's not totally clear, but it looks like those pieces around him that you can see in the picture, they look to be made of, like, scales, including the stuff that he's got around his torso. Looks to me of scales. You think that might be lizard hide that he's got around his body. You may remember you dealt with some lizards earlier in this adventure. Okay, let's see. Does he have a magic club?
You should have stolen them.
Yeah, I'm kind of regretting just stopping them eating us and not fully committing to trying to tame one at this point.
Yeah, we didn't know. You did stop the meeting. All right, let's see.
Had my Chris Pratt moment.
Okay. So read the shatter description so I can just figure out whether or not.
1 second. Yep. Okay, right. I was opening on the wrong page, even with the bookmarks.
I know, right? Oh, I think I may have it anyway.
Yep, here we go. Shatter,
Yeah, I
there
got
we
it.
go. Okay.
Okay, choose a non-magical. Small enough it could be carried by a single individual.
It's being carried by a single individual.
True. True. Okay, being held so the difficulty of your spellcasting test is equal to that person or creature's threat. All right, well, quite clearly, I think it's reasonable to say that Gorbash would not want his club shattered, and so I'm going to spend a second Dark Fate to increase his threat, because what you're trying to do to beat the test is his threat.
Yes.
So, I'm going to increase it. Now, you won't know the die roll that I just made, but I am obligated to tell you the No, because it's like AC. So no, I'm not obligated to tell you that. I will just tell you that he stands there looking at you evilly. So go ahead and make your test. Using Pyron's skill check chart again. Do you have the skill?
Well, 1 second. Let me just consult the light fate rules.
Exactly, abstractism. God damn it, damn it, damn it.
So I could potentially, before making this test, add a bonus die, which would let me have 4d6 and drop whichever one I choose. Or I can wait till after my test, and if it's a success, I can re-roll one of the dice.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could turn a standard success into a great success.
This is where everybody's just gathering all their dice together and like, well, I could do this. Yeah, we'll have 5 more bags of that. Like,
I'm gonna go ahead and spend my light fate to roll 4d6 for this one, I think.
4d6.
Good man.
All right.
And then this is where I mentioned that Shatter counts as a nature spell for the purposes of spellcasting bonuses, and I have a spellcasting nature focus, allowing me to add both my resolve and an extra +2 for a total of +7.
So 3d6 plus aspect plus 2
No.
Actually, 4d6 plus aspect plus 2.
Yes.
All right, so everyone has bulked themselves up to ridiculous levels. Let's see what we get out of this.
Right. Let's. Where's the dice window gone?
This is the moment of the game where we all burn all of our consumables.
Yep, this is where you use every Phoenix down.
I said we might need it later.
All high potions go.
And as always, last dice is the Kismet. So I got a 24, and I got my light fate back.
Wow.
And I'm gonna drop the. I guess I'll drop the 2.
So.
Now, another question, since I just got my light fate back. Certain
Aren't you
conditions.
looking up how many light fate you can spend in one turn?
It's not in one turn, it's how they affect the roll. Where is it? Okay.
Because you want to try to use this light fate you just got back to. Right?
Yeah, hang on. Maximum allowed can have. No, not that one. Where is it? A general rule: you can spend light fate once for any given opportunity.
Okay, so this is an opportunity, I would say.
Yeah, so I couldn't say use that light fate to also bulk up my success.
But hey, look, who needs all of that, right? Okay,
I'll take my 22.
In just like a shower of wood splinters and stone, the club just bursts apart in Gorbash's hand, and and he swears, like he cries, and the roof shakes and some dust sort of settles down on you from above. He is super, super angry. We will see what happens as a result of that. He actually shouts out to the heavens as I use a third dark fate. Man, I'm going to be blown out of dark fate before all is said and done, but this is where he would do it. And 3 kobolds come running into the room from the eastern passage, and he says, "Get them and kill them all!" And they all are like, "Yes!" So 3 more kobolds enter the fray. We'll talk about the implications of that in just a moment. Let me just put down kobolds and okay. All right. Baby, don't hurt me no more. But yeah, no club anymore. I guess I have to adjust. Let's see. Can I make the picture more appropriate? Yeah. So like now, when you look at him, there you go. Now he just looks like that. So no club for him. All right. Good stuff. And obviously you're staying where you are. Good use of shatter there, Reginald. That brings us up to Ashflower. All right, Ashflower. So now, obviously you were on the right side of the wall, and you've got 3 other kobolds that rushed into the room, but you're technically dealing with, at the moment, the big guy, I assume. Or maybe the wizard. I don't know. Who are you aiming for?
I'm going to draw out my blowgun and I'm going to aim at the wizard, and I'm going to try and attack it with my blow dart.
All right. So this creature has currently had a higher threat level. Let's see. Yes, because I pumped it up with the dark fate. So,
where is using light fate again in the book?
Oh, I think it's 36, I believe. Yes, 36.
8. There we go. 36.
Oh, 37. Sorry, 37.
37. Thank you. 37. Light fate. You can spend a light fate before you make any test. I am going to do something similar to Saber. I'm going to spend a light fate before I make any test. Add a bonus die to the roll for a total of 46. You get to choose which 3 dice you keep, but the Kismet die must always be one of them. So, I'm going to spend this light fate. And I'm going to roll because I have, through the handy-dandy skill chart, I have a missile weapon blowgun.
Okay.
Which means I made a note of this. There we go. Roll 3d6, add my agility, add 2 because I have a focus in missile weapons.
So 3d6 plus agility plus 2. And for you it's 46, right? Because of the light fate you just spent.
Yep. I just have a lot of tabs open, so I have to just snap back to what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem.
There we go. There we go. So 46. Last d6 is going to be the Kismet die. Plus my agility, plus 2.
Yep.
Roll. I will drop the 1, which means I roll an 18, 2 on the Kismet die, and a double.
Okay, now I need to remember what the... Oh, yes, because I boosted. Okay, that does not quite work. I'm feeling good that I used that Dark Fate before.
Yeah, I bet you are.
But that, remember, the threat only gets boosted for this round, so when the next round begins, that boost will be gone unless I spend another Dark Fate, and I'm only down to 1 now, so that's not good. If you all could start making some bad rolls so I could get some Dark Fate back, that'd be great. You all manage to do that.
Yes, we'll get to work on that right away.
Anyway, this does miss, and again, the creature in the wizard, I guess, in the cloak, seems very agile, just sort of ducking out of the way and kind of spinning her cloak. And again, you hear her laugh at you. Okay, and let's see. So, all of you got a chance to act, but since Ashflower attacked, that means she gets a chance to respond. So, she is going to... She has several options here, actually. She could... Okay, yeah, I think she's going to do second verse, same as the first, but this time is going to point at you, and is going to chant some arcane symbols, or is going to chant some arcane words in the words that you do not understand. Thank you for the raid, Diabolski Wersetti. Thank you. I don't know why they didn't pop up, because I do have my GOG alerts on, but anyway, and a jagged white beam of light goes heading over in your direction, Ashflower. So I will need you to make an athletics parentheses agility test against the Kobold Wizard's threat rating. So I will need you to make an athletics check if you have that. Do you?
I do.
Okay, so you have the skill. Do you have a focus that fits this situation?
I do not, no.
So then 3d6 plus just the aspect. So 3d6 plus athletics.
So that's plus agility, correct?
Plus agility, right. 3d6 plus agility.
And that will be a 24, and I rolled 3 6s.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know why couldn't have that happened last time?
That's
still, was it overwhelming success? I think that one is.
Well, but on a defense test, though.
I've no idea. I need to take a screenshot of this. That's the best roll I've ever made.
Well, I mean, I only know
20.
the player rules, but that would definitely be helpful.
That is the best roll.
Here we are.
I've ever made
There
in
is.
Roll20.
Let me just double check.
Yeah, defense tests. Here we go. Extraordinary success. They may allow you to inflict limited damage. The Game Master may allow you to inflict limited damage, especially melee and during psychic. You generally cannot use Light Fate to activate a special ability, although the Game Master can allow this in certain circumstances.
So what I will let you do in this case then, given the fact that this was an extraordinary success, is I will let you actually take another shot with your blowgun at them. So basically it's, so the order of operations is, and then, and you're like again with the blowgun.
Yeah.
By the way, the electricity impacts the wall behind you and rock splinters off of the wall to the right, and the rat's like, and they start like heading over. They move. You notice they move slowly in the practiced way that only pets that have been way spoiled and overfed can do. So.
Okay, so one additional attack. There we go. I'll roll a. Well, that was a considerably less impressive roll. That was a 16.
16, yep. Again, thank be to the Dark Fate. That does not hit again. So it's... but so you're both just all dodging each other. It's very impressive. It all looks like a bunch of gun kata movie or something, like just back and forth. It's like the movie you and I were talking about the other day, Mike. Shang-Chi is basically what we're looking at.
Yes.
Which is really good, by the way. I highly recommend.
Very,
if you like
very
Kung Fu movies, and I do, you definitely want to check this out. Anyway, you dodge back and forth, but the result is nothing. Nothing happens for anybody. Nobody gets hurt. Everyone just, dodges each other. Okay, but you've used up a couple of those lightning bolt spells, which are pretty powerful. All right, that's going to be that. That brings us to them and those. Okay, now the kobolds have entered the room, which means the kobolds are going to get an opportunity then to attack. So the kobolds are going to run up on you. And there are three. So one is going to engage Regina, since she's right next to the wizard. One is going to run up to engage Ashflower on the right wall. And the other one I'm going to say is going to engage Reginald, because I think, actually, I'll let the characters decide this. Was Reginald or Muriel further back? I want to say that Muriel was further back than Reginald, but is that right? So I think
I'd agree with that, because Reginald headed in the opposite direction from Ashflower.
Okay, so then we're looking at Regina, Reginald, and Ashflower. You all have a kobold that has done this now. So let's see. That means that they are going to attack using a sharpened stick, which is not perhaps the most impressive thing I've ever seen. So I will need you.
However,
please.
it is more than Gorbosh has right now. Ha ha.
Oh wow, too soon, man. Too soon. Okay. So I will need you, Regina. Let's start with you to make a defense against a melee attack. So this will be agility or brawn.
Is this kobold moving at full speed?
To get up to you, yes.
Yes, wonderful. Because I'm still having a spear.
Okay.
And so I get a bonus die for a defense test against an enemy moving at full speed.
Okay.
And I also get an additional +1 if this is a melee defense test, which I guess it is. So what do I roll?
You were looking. So it's like, so what does all that mean? So so you're going to be rolling 3d6.
4d6 because of the bonus die.
Right, 46 because of the bonus die. Plus aspect, so plus brawn, and your agility, right? Because you're defending with the spear.
I'm defending with the spear. I still have the focus, so it would be +6, +2, +1.
Yep. There you go.
So +6, +2, +1. So +9 in total.
I think that's right.
Okay,
yep.
Wonderful.
And 46, right? So 46 plus
yep.
9.
And then I can choose a bonus die, so I can drop the yep. Okay. What is going on?
Wow. Oh, thank you for the Dark Fate. I appreciate that. I'll just grab the Dark Fate. So Regina, feeling very cocky, just is like,
goodness. All
right, let's go. And then now you'll be glad to know that despite all of this, actually now I need to double check on this thing whether I get a Dark Fate, because you actually.
Wow.
Oh no, because you have to drop one of these, right? So you're obviously going to drop the one.
I can't drop the Kismet die, so I can't have to drop one of. I will drop one of the ones. No, wait, did I? Yeah, so I have.
Yep.
Yep. So I have 1 + 2 + 1. and 1 because I can't drop the Kismet dice.
Yep. 1 plus 2
What
plus
is
1.
going on with my rolls? I just can't even.
So that would still be a 13, though, and that
There
is,
would still be a 13, yes.
and that's still going to be enough to hit this thing. So I need to see whether or not, so you're going to, okay, so you will, okay, right, so you only suffer half of the damage or effect on a standard success, and that is definitely what this is. I do want to find out where I get a Dark Fate, though. I'm trying to find the thing that says, that gets it, and I don't.
You get the Dark Fate because my Kismet die is a 1.
That's what I thought, but I want to confirm that that's the case even on a success, because technically you do have a standard success here. So just bear with me 1 second, chat. Right, fate. Not telling me what I need to know. Let's see.
Well, I could roll damage if I'm
Game Master
Just-
can spend. No, it's Okay, so on a standard success, the GM can spend a Dark Fate.
It does say.
Oh, anytime it rolls a 1,
anytime
there it
a
is,
player
there it is.
rolls a
I got
one,
it.
Yeah.
Yep, I got it. I just had to find the right thing. There it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. So I do have that.
Did you get it? Okay.
Yeah, so we figured it out. So that means you're only going to take half damage. Remember, you were defending against it. So you are only going to take, because it's a standard success only,
Okay.
you will take half damage from its effect. And as I think was pointed out by Poison BL, that sharpened sticks do work to get the point across. Well done.
Oh,
Well done. I'd like to
love
subscribe
it.
to your
Love
newsletter.
it.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of puns. I'm here for this.
Okay, that's 3 points of damage to you. So your armor is going to withstand 3 of those. What are you down to on armor?
Then I had 8, and this means I'm down to 5 then.
5 armor. All right. So it strikes into your scratches along your armor, leaves a big scrape. The kobold, is annoyed that it didn't do even more than that. Okay.
I'm annoyed there's a kobold. There wasn't one before.
It wasn't supposed to be another one. Okay, Reginald, the one on you is going to do the same thing using its pointed stick. So you are also going to be rolling a defense test. Again, this is going to be a melee defense test. So we're looking at agility or brawn. So let's see. Do you have a melee? Whoops, sorry. Do you have a melee skill?
No.
In that case, you are going to be rolling 3d6.
Indeed I am. Do I use another light fate? Do I risk it? No. I have plans. Big plans.
Big plans.
The biggest.
Let's see how we
Okay,
go.
well,
3d6.
here we go.
Oh,
Oof.
well, I appreciate that extra Dark Fate.
This was not according to my plan.
I was worried about my Dark Fate number. I had nothing to worry about at all. All right. Okay, so let's see. That is an 8. That is sadly not enough, so it is you are going to take full damage from this thing. And it is going to do 3 points of damage again. Armor, what armor do you have?
Leather armor for 3 points.
Okay, so you're going to take that 3. Obviously, you know the deal. The first one of those is X'd out, right? So you have to now repair that. The other ones are slashed out. How many armor points do you have left for the combat here?
2.
2. Okay. All right, so it does that, and now the kobold, which is on Ashflower. Let's see what it's able to do. So same deal. Yes?
I think I did the armor thing wrong because I was taking away armor for all the damage I received. Should I have only taken
Yes,
away
no, that's
one
correct.
for...
No, that is what you're supposed to be doing.
Good.
It's just, but you're only Xing out completely the 1 per turn. That was the thing we figured out.
Per turn, yeah.
So, yeah.
Did that. Okay, wonderful.
Okay, Ashflower. So you need to make, sir, a melee, again, test. Do you have that skill?
Bear with me. Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have a focus that fits this situation?
Yes, I have a focus in small blades.
Okay. So, No, because it's fighting you with a sharpened stick, which is, believe it or not a small blade.
Okay.
That would be on your attack. So that means it would just be 3d6 plus the aspect. So 3d6 plus your, in this case, it would be agility, I think, for you. Not brawn. So 3d6 plus agility.
Using, so 3d6 plus agility. As well as. And that's a 13, and I believe that's a success on a double. A success or a great success? I can't remember how that works now.
It would be a great success, which means that you take as the doubles, because you take no damage, completely resistant to the spell or effect. So what happened? You tell me. As the pointed stick comes in, how do you what do you do? Do you catch it with your antler, so Jason Bourne it somehow? What do you do?
They're quite small, so I think because I've been dodging lightning bolts, I think I'm still stood up. Maybe I was stood up when I attacked with the first dart, the lightning bolt came down to dodge it, I ducked down onto my knees or something like that, and then all of a sudden there's a stick, so I turn my head and it gets stuck sideways in my antlers, and then I just snap my neck back, it sort of spins out.
Nice. Good stuff, I love it. So it's and Gorbash says, "Idiot, do better." Yes, right, and starts sort of nodding its head furiously and babbling at Gorbash. Okay, so that is the end of that round. So as we reset here for the second round, so far we have shattered Gorbash's club. We have attempted to do some damage, although unsuccessfully, to some people. But Regina has lost some armor. Reginald has lost some armor. Muriel has not. Muriel has actually lost some armor and also been hit by a big lightning bolt. Ashflower has been missed by a lightning bolt and by a kobold. And so we go back up to the top of the round here. So again, how does the party want to organize themselves? Do you want the last time the order was Regina, Muriel, Reginald, and Ashflower? What order and what do you want to do this round? Remember that everybody but Muriel has someone engaged with them now in melee combat. In Regina's case, you have two, Gorbash and the other kobold that's attacking you. Muriel is the only one who's clear from everybody.
I'm
not Gorbash.
mage.
I'm sorry, the wizard.
Gorbash.
Sorry, the wizard. The wizard and the kobold that's on you.
We call the wizard Gorcast, so we've got Gorbash and Gorcast.
I think for the ease of use, I will tell
Excellent.
you, even though it's
Excellent.
technically breaking out of this, that the name of the wizard is Izika. So
It's Gorecast.
Gorcast.
Okay.
We're just renaming him now on the fly. It's canon.
I am
Her,
not
her.
someone else.
Female.
Big
Female.
bonk and little
So,
bonk.
her.
I
Gorecast.
said Gorbash. Me. Okay.
Yes, you. Well, if nobody has anything else that I should do, I will roar in frustration and poke the wizard. Or does anybody want to go first?
I'll go second if you're going to poke the wizard.
Yeah,
I want to
don't-
go. I still haven't poked the wizard. I still have a plan, and I'm going still at the plan. I'm if nobody is giving any other orders, this is what Regina does.
I had a plan A, but now I'm in melee. I don't think I can do it, so I have a plan B.
Okay, so I have Regina and then Reginald. Ashflower and Muriel, what order would you like to go?
Muriel, where are you on the battlefield? Where
I
are
am
you just
furthest
stood?
back, still nearish the entrance.
Where you came in, yep. That's right.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 100, how wounded do you feel right now?
Like an 86 and a half.
That's
Okay,
pretty good.
cool. I'd like to go before Muriel.
All right.
That's
Sounds
okay with
good.
Muriel? Unless you're
I
going to do
was
a big
just gonna
AoE
set
thing.
fires again and then
Okay, that's
probably
fine.
die because of a retaliation.
Okay, so I'm definitely going before Muriel.
Okay, I was going to say. All right. That sounds like a plan. I will declare at the beginning I am going to use a light fate on 2 people. I'm going to use 2 of my light fate because I'm using them on one each on one character. So I'm using 1 on Gorbash and 1 on Izika.
Do you mean Dark Fate?
Say again?
Do you mean Dark Fate?
Yeah, what did I say? Didn't I say Dark Fate?
Light Fate.
Oh. Okay. No, Dark Fate. I want to use
That really confused me.
I will-
then.
I
was
will
like,
use Light
how-
Fate too.
How,
I'll
how
use
are
everything.
you allowed to use Light Fate?
I can do everything. No, sorry, then Dark Fate. Okay, so I'm just going to mark down. That's not all right. Here we go. Okay. And got it. Okay. All right. All right. So that's the deal with that. Okay. Right. So we've got the. Okay. So here we go. Regina, you were up first. You said you wanted to poke the wizard. Let's make it happen. If you wish to do this, you
Yes,
must.
let's poke the wizard again.
All right. Let us do this test. So.
I just need to roll better. This is all
just
I
roll
need to
better.
do. Yeah. Okay. This is like the same thing as before. So 3d6 plus 6. Come on, let's do this. Well, I get a light fate,
That's better.
You get a light fate, which gives you 2
and
now,
it's a
right?
17. 3. It's my third one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong person. I was looking at Reginald. Okay.
Reginald, yeah, but for me, I've got 3 now.
You've got 3. Yep, I got it. Okay, so we're looking at a 17 now. It's gonna be close.
Yeah. Question is this a success or is it not a success?
It is not a success because of the dark fate spent. Would have been otherwise. So it is not a success. Not quite enough. So that means it's a failure, which means we get stabby again from Zika. Yeah, no, she's not going to do that yet. So,
Okay.
that's
Starting
going to
next
be
turn, I'm gonna need my light fade. I had other plans with my light fade, but I'm gonna need my light fade. Yeah, I gotta come back.
stabs you quickly, does the upcut stab, and does 4 points of damage to you, Regina. So, minus your armor. What are you at now?
My armor goes down to 1 point then.
Okay. Uh-oh, we're
I'm
getting...
still unhurt.
I know, we're breaking through the shell. Just like...
First time.
Okay. All right, good stuff. I mean, not good stuff, but... okay.
Thank you.
At least you got a light fate, though. Let's be clear about that. Okay. Reginald, you were up next.
Yes.
And
This room was.
sorry, Regina, you're staying right next to them, I assume, right? Trying to stab furiously at this thing.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
what else?
That's what I figured. Go ahead, Reginald.
This room was 10 meters by 10 meters. That was
Correct.
right. Yes.
That's
Okay. Okay. So I might have been eating some beans because I feel a gust of wind coming on.
Oh boy. All right, the classic. All right, tell us what gust of
Centered
wind
on
is.
Gorbash.
Okay.
So in my head, that should catch every enemy in the room with the gust because it's within a 10-meter radius of where it's centered.
Yes, that would be the case.
So winds start to howl and small objects are sort of swept along as a vortex starts to form within the room, strong enough if it succeeds to cause damage and knock everybody prone. Enemies prone, specifically enemies. It specifies enemies.
Everyone is
Oh
not.
my God.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes,
Like
I like
me using
this.
grease all over again.
Yes, I like this. Okay, this sounds like a plan.
Okay. So, and I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna throw in my other light fate to make this a 4d6er. So, let's get this rolling. Okay, I will drop 3 to make that a 19.
So,
18, sorry.
right, 18.
Yeah, 18 versus threat.
18 versus threat. Okay, and everyone who fails falls prone, right?
That's
and,
right.
And takes
yes.
damage?
Yes, damage equal to my craft, which would be 6.
Okay. So, well, everybody but Izika is going to fall to this, including Gorbash, who seems really upset about it. So they're all going to hit the ground. And you said 6 points to everyone who has to do that? Who has to hit the ground?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. And I've lost my sheet with the information about the cold. Oh my goodness me, too many pages. Obviously lost my mind. I just had this sheet. Obviously, I have no idea where anything is. understand. Okay. Let's see. Just gonna do it this way. Okay. So, okay. So that means that they are each going to take. Okay. So they're going to be 3. Okay. There's that. Okay. And then Gorbash is going to take 6. Okay. So he falls to the ground. He does not seem to take any damage from this because it seems to be absorbed by the scaly lizard hides that he's wearing. But he's definitely very upset about it. Okay, and that has been done. And okay, so everybody now in the chamber is also prone, with the exception, as I said, of Ezeka. And Ezeka, against which this attack was a failure, points her hand at you, and second verse, same as the first, in response, is going to zap away with a lightning bolt, the third so far. So I need you to make an athletics test against the kobold wizard's threat. Do you have such a skill?
No.
Yes. I had a feeling. So 3d6.
I am made of goo. Yeah, I don't think that's going to cut it.
Yeah, not so much. Okay. So, let's see. That means you're going to take... That's going to be 9 points of damage minus your armor. So, I think you had like 2 points left or something?
Yeah.
All right. So, 7 gets through to you.
Ouch.
Which means you're at 4, I think I have you at.
Yep, I didn't start this at full health
Yeah.
because I had to recover spell points.
All right. And again, and you hear in sort of rough, almost common, little wizard. Apparently is not impressed with your gust of wind, only because it didn't affect her. And Gorbash is, shut up! Because Gorbash is on his back, basically, along with everybody else. Something else happens too, Reginald, which you may or may not have intended, which is that when this happens, this gust of wind also blows the campfire, not only blows it out, but sends sparks flying over into the bedding, and you begin to see a smoldering coming from the other side of the room.
So in the collapsing cave, I have now set the room we're in on fire.
That's basically it. Yes. And thank you to our second raid today, D&D
Raid,
Boy
awesome.
Band. That's a quality name too. Praise Kyphon. Welcome in, raiders. Thank you. Welcome to Talisman Adventures. You were in the middle of a big boss fight with a bunch of lightning bolts going back and forth, and it's good stuff. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Okay. So good stuff, Reginald. And so you have been zapped back, as it were. Okay. That's going to lead us to Ashflower, who is up next. And to be clear, Reginald, so you have 1 kobold on you that has not been dealt with, so they have an action left to take against you, although at the moment they're just on the ground. So I was just noting that for the record so we remember when we get to that part of their round. Ashflower, you are up.
Yes, so my plan was to cast one of my rune spells. So I have a certain number of runes on my body, and since healing, these have regenerated. So I should be able to cast healing, and I'd like to cast healing on Muriel.
Okay.
So healing says you can call upon mystical healing magic to aid another character or ally who is injured. Choose yourself or an injured character you can see. On a success, you heal your target for 1d6 life or heal 1 wound.
This is good stuff.
So on a success, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. How do I roll for this? I have a note that basically says to cast a rune spell, to cast a soul rune, sorry, I basically roll 3d6 and add my craft. So I just wanted to double check that that was a correct note from past Mike and I wasn't just making stuff up.
I believe that's right. 3d6 plus craft, but the question really is the defense test against which we're setting it.
Yes. So that was my question.
Some spells have a difficulty of a number or threat,
Yeah,
so
does
you
it
might
say
have
it under
that.
the spell? Yeah, exactly, under the spell
It
description.
does not, no. It also does not say it in the spell table either.
Where did you find this in the main spells?
Yes, page 127, bottom left-hand corner. And for all of our new viewers of the handbook that we got sent by Pegasus Spieler.
Oh,
You have to beat an 11.
it's difficulty 11. Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, is it? Where? Oh, I apologize. I was looking at the bottom of the spell, not the actual top of the banner. Sorry about that.
So that's all you
Yes,
have to do.
Difficulty
Just
11.
beat that difficulty level.
So let's go 3d6 plus my craft, which is 4. So let's go over to roll 20. 3d6 plus 4. Please roll higher than an 11. Yes, roll higher than 11. I also got double 4. Does that change anything?
So that means that it would be it's a success, so it doesn't seem to make a difference. So just a success, which means you can heal your target for 1d6 life. So go ahead and roll a 1d6, and Muriel will be healed by that much.
Muriel, basically there is a quick flick of
Nice.
Ashflower's wrist as he glances over to you, and some of the wounds on your body from that lightning bolt just seem to just heal up. You have 5 hit points back.
So you're up to 8 life now, Muriel. Good stuff. Okay, good work, Ashflower. That's a full action, so that takes your whole turn to do that. Okay, and that is going to lead us, last but certainly not least, to the aforementioned Muriel. Muriel, who's the only person in the room that does not have a kobold on her at the moment, or a Gorbash or a wizard. But most of them are on the ground, Muriel, with the exception of the wizard. But everybody else is currently, every enemy, I should say, is currently prone.
Okay. Well, I luckily the lovely Reginald reminded me that we can actually recover life during a turn.
That's right.
And so I wanted to spend one of my only light fate. Hey, no, I'm not gonna give you toothpaste. That's not food. I was gonna spend my light fate to roll 4d6 in order to try and recover, because I don't think that I would be able to make the roll without the light fate.
Okay, that makes sense. So you're making a fortitude test against difficulty 14. So do you have fortitude by chance? Okay, so just 3d6 is plus the light fate, yes. And that Kismet die, which is a 6, that's good stuff. So we're looking at 11 and 6, so we're looking at, 8 and 6. 14, that is just enough. Okay, so that means that it is not a great success, but you do get a light fate back. So it is a standard success, which means you recover 1d3 life. So if you roll 1d4 and subtract 1, and if you get a 1, you still get a 1. So yeah, so 3. All right, so you're back up to 11. Hale and Hardy.
Ace.
Good stuff. And you have another light fate, so you're at a 2 light fate. Or actually, no, 1, because you used 1 up. So good stuff. Good timing. All right, Muriel, in better shape. Recover was an action, so you took that whole thing. Good stuff. That brings us back up to, let's see, the ones who have not yet had a chance to react. So, let's see. Gorbash was not attacked. Gorbash... Right, so what Gorbash is going to do is he is going to stand again. And, oh man, he has so many good options here. I think since we're still using the boosted Gorbash, I think what we're going to do is he's going to walk forward and is going to engage the sprite who's attempting to attack his wizard. So Gorbash is going to come over and is going to, and he says to you, "Get away, bee," and is going to swing his fist. Now, the good news is that he does not have his club anymore, so he is going to be doing less damage than he would have been. He's still a big creature, though, so he's going to attempt to punch you. So what I need you to do, please, is I'm going to ask you to make a defense test against melee. This is definitely melee, so you get all the bonuses that you had before against that.
Wonderful. One more enemy for Regina. Here we go. Yeah, 4d6 plus 9 it is still.
Okay.
And I dropped the 3, so it's a 23.
All right. 23 is going to work. That means that it's a success, and it's actually more than that. It's a great success. So because it's a great success, that should mean that you take no damage at all, I believe. Yes. So you don't get to strike back, but you take no damage from Gorbash. You dodge out of the way nimbly.
Yeah. So I say, ha! You wouldn't even be able to hit a fly.
We'll see. It's kind of a weak laugh though. Okay, so he does that. Let's see. Zeke has already reacted, so she can't go again. But the 3 kobolds who are still alive still have a chance to react. One of those kobolds is on Regina. So Regina, I need you to make another test to defend against the one kobold that is attacking you.
Okay. I should have just left it open, which I didn't.
Yeah.
I drop the 2 and do a 23.
Okay, and also
And it's a great success
great
again.
success again, so no damage. And yeah, what Peripheral Mike said is exactly right. It's like that scene in The Mandalorian where there's like 4 stormtroopers around him, and he's just kind of like, he's like, we outnumber you 4-1. He's like, I like those odds. Like that's basically what this is. Like, you got 3 kobolds on you. All right. Okay, so or not 3, but you know. Okay, so the wizard's gone, Gorbash is gone, 1 kobold is gone. All right, so that gives us 1 kobold each for Reginald and for Ashflower. Let's start with the one on Reginald. Reginald, I need you to make a melee test, and unlike Regina, this really isn't your stick.
No,
you know.
I made a mistake. I'm sorry. The kobold was not moving at full speed, so I did not get the bonus die.
Okay, so it should just be.
Sorry, just for remember, it's only if people approach me.
Okay, right. So what would it be then?
And he was already getting up, so I don't think that counts as moving at full speed towards me.
Right. So basically, it would just be. What do we say? There's nothing to drop then, right?
Yeah. So I think we should maybe take the worst combination.
Okay.
Of these.
So that would be 2
because
plus
that would
4
be fair
plus
then.
5.
So
Sure.
So I would drop the 5, and it would not be a great success then, but just a standard success. That seems fair, right? Because
right.
I would
I
just
think
take
that's fair. Yep.
the worst combination of what is possible with this.
Thank you as always.
Sorry,
for
I
your-
didn't. I
that's
wasn't.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Okay, so with this sharpened stick, that means that you are going to do 3. It's going to take 3 points of damage, which means we finally got through your armor, didn't we?
Yes.
How many points do we have off of you?
So like the last armor point is gone now, so I take 2 points of damage, which takes me down to 19.
Oh, this is the Bruce Lee moment. Regina has tasted her own blood. Oh, now it's gonna get real. Thank you, Karen, for being honest about that. Okay. That goes both ways, by the way, chat. Players, I really appreciate that, but also DMs can make mistakes, and some often do. And when they do, it's important that they also admit it, because it's important to keep things going the right way. Okay, so now, as we were talking about Reginald, you have to make this roll against this kobold that's attacking you with its pointed stick.
Let's see how we do.
Thank you, Applejack, for the tier 1 sub. Welcome to the GogCom DRM free community.
Well, at least the one's in a favourable place.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's exactly what you rolled the last time, actually. It was an 8. So you were sadly going to take all of that damage, which is... that's going to be 5 points of damage. And I think, Reginald, you're out of armor, so I think that brings you...
I had 1 point left, but that still puts me at 0.
It puts you at 0, okay. This may be the first time that we've actually had people down. So I need to look and see about this. And thank you, Napon, for subscribing with Prime. Welcome back to the DRM free community as well. All right, let's find out what happens, chat, when someone dies in this game. No. All right. So
Technically, I was never alive. I'm a ghoul.
That's true, actually, yes. Okay, so each round after this happens, you must make a death test to see if your character is still alive. Okay, any kind of healing spell or magical effect will immediately stabilize a dying character. But what you all see is Reginald slip to the ground with a groan, and the kobold like leaps up and ground, like up and down, very excited, and then he's pointing and babbling at Gorbash, and Gorbash like, silence. All the kobold was able to do was just stand up and attack you, but I think it was happy enough to do that. All right, Reginald, we'll deal with that when we get there. And the last person to go is the kobold, which is on Ashflower, which also stands up and is going to attack Ashflower. So, Ashflower, I need you also to make this melee test, but I believe you do have the aspect for this, right? Not a focus, but the aspect. So I think we're looking at 3d6 plus the aspect.
3d6 plus aspect, which for me is agility, I believe.
Yes, that's right. It's either agility or brawn, so for you, be agility.
Yes. Okay, and I roll unhelpfully 17, and you get a dark fate.
I get a dark fate. I will take that dark fate.
You are racking these up.
Okay. Right. So we're looking at 17. The good news, though, is that is still a success, although not a great success. So you're going to take half damage from the attack.
Okay. This is where we get to have a conversation about my armor.
Right. So this is 3 points of damage. That's go. Oh, nope. I'm wrong. Because it's plus 4 points of damage. So 4 points of damage goes through. Now, how much leather armor do you have?
Now I have leather armor on, but I have 3 points marked down off of my leather armor, but I didn't know if that would contradict with anything you may have written down. So I don't think my leather armor has been completely X'd out, if that makes sense. I think
right.
It's just got slashes in.
So did you retrofit or anything off of the armor?
No.
Okay.
No.
So because what retrofitting does is during a rest you retrofit it and that gets rid of the slashes. Doesn't get rid of the X's though unless you do the repairs that you have to do. So now that it's been slashed that way, you have whatever you had left over that were just empty squares, if any. Did you have
one.
Okay, so 1. So that means, you now get a slash. This is the first time you've been hit in this combat, or the second time?
First time.
Okay, so you're going to X out that box too. Okay, so just, if you want, you can just say X out one of the, and then you're going to take the other 3 points. So, you were sitting at 15 out of 19. I had you at 18 to begin with, so 15 out of 19. Okay.
That sounds very familiar. There we go.
Chai's son just looks so chill. He's like, this is fine. All of you being hit, it's no problem. It's okay, and everything will be fine.
You got this, don't worry. I believe in you. It's fine.
I think you can manage. Okay.
You can do it.
You can do it. All right. So good work there. You resisted that, at least some of it, kind of. All right, and that is all of those people that have now gone, which brings us back up to the top of the round as we reset. Chat, welcome to episode 303 of Pen and Pixels. You are watching a big combat, Talisman Adventures, with the hardy crew of Pyron J, Darksaber 2K, Peripheral Mike, and Tasty Chai. We are playing in this system, which is sponsored by Pegasus Spiele, and it's a really fun system, and so I hope you folks are enjoying it as much as we are. If this seems like, wow, they're fighting a lot, it's because this is a big end of sort of adventure boss type fight against Gorbash, the Kobold Lord, Izika, the Kobold Wizard, and 3 of his minions that he called in at the beginning of the fight. And if you like what you see in here, please do what many of your friends have done today and follow the channel or sub to the channel and spread the word about the show. With that said, top of the round of combat chat. Yes, chat, but also my players. So you've got the 4 of you have to decide now what you want to do. Gorbash, the Dark Fate, although I have had one restored, haven't I? Yeah, I'm going to use both Dark Fate on Gorbash and Izika again. This will use up all of my Dark Fate, however. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Worth it to increase their respective threats. So, I've done those 2. Great. I'm out of Dark Fate now. All right. So, you've got 3 kobolds, 1 each on Regina, Reginald, and Ashflower. You have got the Kobold Wizard on Regina, and you now have Gorbash on Regina as well. A lot of people on Regina. Muriel is the only one who currently does not have an enemy upon her. With that said, what do you want to do, party? How do you want to organize this round of combat?
Also a slightly on fire room in a collapsing cave.
That is correct. It is still smoldering, but it's
absolutely
starting to get a little bit more.
That's
Yes.
fine.
Regina is thrilled that somebody finally recognized that she is the very dangerous person in the room.
You're clearly the biggest threat.
Yes, very apparently. So this is she. I don't think she has realized what happened to Reginald at this point. So let's go. I mean, there comes this big guy who insulted me. I'm gonna poke the big guy now.
Okay. Yes, and since Reginald is down, Reginald, you're going to be doing a sort of the equivalent of like a death save. So the question is, does anyone else want to go? Because I think it's true, Regina probably wouldn't have noticed, but I imagine Ashflower and Muriel would have heard that groan. So either one of you could try to heal your companion, or if you have that ability, like if you have some magic of some kind or some item or anything that would fit in that description.
For what it's worth, I think looking at the numbers, it is actually impossible for me to fail this first check because it's tested against resolve. So even if I roll 3 1s, I will equal the 8 I need to pass.
Okay.
So
there you
I'm
go. You got a free
quote
round.
unquote good until the next round before it becomes more pressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I roll 6 on the Kismet die, I'm back up in a minute with 1 HP.
Okay.
If I fail, I die. If I don't get a 6, I think I just move on to the next round with the harder check.
Well, I can only do that healing trick once, unfortunately.
I can't do healing at all. I do have a mysterious potion though. No wait, I gave it to Muriel. Don't I have a mysterious potion?
I don't think it's a health potion.
I mean, it might be. Well, we don't know unless we feed it to Reginald.
I believe it's alcohol, so
Well, yeah.
Dude, we never had time to look at it. I don't know what it is.
Could be anything. Right, we're just gonna.
Could be anything.
Also,
well, he can't really oppose you, you know.
yeah. Well, if anyone wants to try and stabilize, they have to do a
Okay.
heal insight test with difficulty 14.
Regina, we need to have a conversation about consent, okay?
She
Stop.
completely understands consent. She
Stop
sees he
trying
cannot
to
give it.
feed. Stop trying to feed unconscious party members drinks. We've had this conversation before.
I don't remember the conversation at all. Maybe I was drunk.
You were drunk.
You know, it's Talia says you might be hurt, but at least you be drunk. Yes, and
Yep.
as always, thank goodness for small favors. Okay, well, but yes, that's true. In addition to healing, you could just, as Saber says, attempt to just stabilize. So you could try to heal. You could try to force feed a potion you have no idea what it does down his throat. You could also try to stabilize him.
I'll try stabilizing because I've got good insight. So I
Okay.
will head over to him and stabilize.
All right, and then so that would be Regina going first. Muriel, you would stabilize, and it's convenient
I
that no
will
one's on you.
go-
It makes it easier.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah, I will go
Reginald.
third, I guess.
Ashflower, do you want to go? I was going to say, do you want to go after Muriel and before Reginald, or do you want to go after Reginald?
Well, I'm in.
I mean,
I'm in combat with someone, aren't I?
Oh yeah, that's true. So a question,
That
but I
makes
mean, you
sense.
could still
Makes
go.
that
I mean,
more
you could
sense.
still theoretically like fight the person in combat before these other things. So
That's true.
I
It
mean,
all
I may as well
depends.
take my test last.
right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go for that then. I'll go third.
All right. So that sounds good. There we go. And excellent. All right. We start with Regina poking the bear, as it were. Now, Regina, you now have
Yes.
it's a target-rich environment. Are you going after the wizard, Gorbash, or the
No.
kobold?
The guy who called me a bee.
That was Gorbash.
Yes, Gorbash called me a bee. Well, that can't be. I'm gonna use a light fate in this case.
I called you a pathetic bee.
Puny kobold. So
Puny kobold. Okay.
let's see. So that would be 4d6 plus 6 if I have done everything correctly.
I think that sounds right. 46 plus 6. Now his threat has been boosted.
Oh.
Oh, look
Oh,
at that.
that's.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so-
I have to drop either a 3 or the 4.
Now this
And
is
I don't
interesting.
know-
Yeah, you have a decision to
because
make here.
I don't know his threat level. So
Yep.
dropping the 4 could put me at, if his threat level is higher than 18, it's a problem. But like if it's 19 and I drop the 4, that would be like,
It's very
know.
tough because and the reason that she's wondering, chat, is that if she keeps the 3 and it turns out that
Yeah.
it is a success, then she gets not just a standard but a great success because of the doubles. But she might not
Yeah.
get up to the number, so she doesn't know. So
I don't know the number. Yeah, that's the problem.
level 2, Pandora.
I mean, but if I get a standard success, I can still use another light fate to push it up to a great success because I do have them lights fates right now.
That's
And I'm getting
fair.
one back because of the
And you
Kismet
just go
die,
on back,
so this
yeah.
is fine. So
It's
I
once
will
per
drop.
opportunity, though.
Yeah, once per opportunity.
So
'cause
you've
spent
already
one.
spent for this opportunity.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, that doesn't make it easier. But at least I get the light fight back that I just spent. So that's. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna drop the 4.
Okay. That is not a success. So it is sadly a failure. But it might have been a failure anyway. You don't know.
I don't know, but I want to know.
So you inflict
18 does not hit.
does not hit. But remember, that's also partially by virtue of the Dark Fate boost that he received. And I am out of Dark Fate now. Although, now that you've been hit here, you inflict no damage to your target, but your opponent hits you for full damage. So that means he gets to roll to attack you. Although he's only punching you this time, not using his club. That shatter was pretty huge, actually, Reginald. This could have been gone really poorly. Okay, so that's going to be 5 points of damage to you, Regina, as you are punched in the face. I think your armor is all done at this point, right? So I think you're just
My armor is all done. This goes down, so I go down to 14.
Yep. All right. Punched again. And then he says, "B gets smashed." He says.
That's interesting.
Okay.
I just raw.
All right. Okay, he's also used up his action, which is one positive thing out of this. Okay, that's going to lead us to Muriel is up next. So, Muriel, you make your way over, lean down to Reginald, and now you're going to attempt to stabilize. Saber, you had the page open. What's stabilize on the...
Heal insight check with a difficulty of 14.
Okay.
I'll just re-verify, but that's what I remember. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can you do that as an action? Where are you seeing that?
That is on page, when we reopen, 47, but it's just occurred to me, heal's a skill you have to have.
Yep. Do you have the heal skill, Muriel?
No, I heard insight, and so I went over and I barely rolled
No,
a
it's
14.
I'll let you decide something else you want to do, but yeah, that's true. You have to actually know heal to heal.
Yeah.
Although
And I'm the healer in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Any kind of healing spell or magical effect that would do that would immediately stabilize a dying character. You could stabilize a character with a successful heal test. Yeah. I think that's true.
Weirdly, that seems to put your party potentially could be in a no-win situation or no revive situation with a person. Then.
Yeah, I'm wondering about
That's what
whether
it
or
sounds
not.
like. Yeah, that's lame.
Let me look this up quickly. I don't know. We haven't run into this before, so let me look it up quickly.
And it calls it a heal test, but the death and dying section doesn't specify you have to have the heal skill, but the heal skill under the skill section does say you have to have it. Let's have a
So,
look.
like, if you were casting heal, then you would need to have it.
Yeah.
There's a heal.
Obnoxious.
There's a heal as skill, just like there's intimidated skill, but it's one of those skills that you need to actually know how to do. There are a few skills like artisan, heal, lore, spell casting that you have to do these things. So
you have to, otherwise you can just do an unskilled check, can't you? Which is just 3d6. Like,
Yeah.
there are a couple of like athletics and stuff like that. I think it might be one of them. Like, if you don't have athletics, you just do 3d6. If you do have athletics, you do 3d6 plus your aspect.
first aid is only for short rest. So if you feel very resting right now, I mean.
I'm getting
Just
better.
a quick nap on the smouldering bed. I'm sure that'll be fine. But this is one of those things, isn't it? Like we've never come across this situation before, and this is a brand new system for all of us. Really, it's a brand new system, so it's one of those things we have to just kind of figure out.
Well, I guess I mean, Red has written. I'm in a situation where since none of you can heal me, I either pass the check or I'll eventually die because the difficulty will ramp up enough.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
FAQ
fantastic.
Or heal.
I mean, it goes up once per round, so it goes from 8 to 9 to 10, etc. The difficulty.
Yeah, but we will never be able to like do anything about this because nobody.
That's a good
has-
point. Even if we got out of combat, they wouldn't be able to. Oh,
Yeah.
hang on, no. You could do as part of a rest. That's something you can do actually.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can. You just stop rolling as soon as we are out of the Yeah, I mean, we could say we're resting now in
Yeah,
this
I
burning
don't-
room with the cave. In.
Yeah, I don't. It
And
doesn't say in the FAQ, and it doesn't.
And first aid also requires healing, so we wouldn't even able to do it then. So no.
Yeah, I would say so. Although, but for example, Ashflower does have, right? Am I mistaken about this? Does have theoretical healing ability?
No, I have soul runes, which I cast without any additional skills. Those are very, very fringe cases. But I only have 2. I have healing and blade sharp. But I can't use healing twice or blade sharp twice. That sort of thing.
I see.
And it doesn't use like spell points or anything like that. It just is a spell because it's written on my body. It's just a spell that is used once per day. Otherwise, had I known we'd be in this situation, I probably wouldn't have healed our scholar. Quite so quickly, anyway. Quite so quickly.
Yeah, that you can stabilize a character with a successful heal inside test against difficulty 14.
But for heal, you need to have the skill heal, and we
Yeah.
don't. None of us. Well, one person has, and this person is currently not available. He's between lives.
And we
During a
have
short rest, a character can take 1 recover action. A recover action taken during a short rest acts exactly as a recover action during combat.
yeah, I don't.
Potentially, I could recover like if we just rested, but again, short rest in a burning room.
Yeah, I mean, I think one way to look at it may be that what has to happen here is that, well, because what I'm debating here is what might have to happen is whether you can kill these things off fast enough and then get yourself into a rest situation, or use that like random potion that you don't know what it is. You know, because I don't know that you haven't even like healing herbs or anything like that either.
Just double check.
I mean, again, I can
No,
definitely pass
nothing.
the check this round, and if I roll a 6, it's a moot point anyway. It's just as the fight drags on, if
gonna get
slash
harder.
when I don't roll a 6 on the Kismet,
How-
that's when the problem starts.
I think I found a way out. Did you drop to exactly 0?
Yes.
Exactly 0.
Then you're not down.
Oh,
Page 47, wounds.
Oh no,
Any-
you're right.
Reduced to 0 life, you must check a wounded box on your character sheet.
oh,
This indicates you're not down.
No, look below, Pyron. When you reach 0 life, your
Oh,
character
yeah.
is unconscious and on the verge
yeah.
of death.
At any time you are reduced to 0 life, you must check a wounded box.
Well,
This
there's that too.
indicates-
Reginald is also wounded,
Yeah,
but
so they
but
have-
he is
so has a
currently
wound,
unconscious.
And so when you are brought back, you will have a wound on you.
Oh, and there
basically.
is another way out of this too. If you roll a 6 on the Kismet die, you stabilize and awaken on your own.
yeah.
So there is another way out of this. So anyway,
Let me just add that wound because I didn't notice that.
so that's why. Okay.
It might just be one of those situations.
Yep.
Like it's a clutch situation.
Which does put me in a more pressing situation because now I get a -2 to all my checks while the rune, all actions. This is a check. This is a save. So
No,
that's
that's
not
to
an
say,
action.
this,
Yeah, you
that's
don't
all right.
take
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah,
you don't. You're not.
My actions
doing
do not die.
Yes.
okay.
So at least that doesn't inconvenience me right now, Maud.
So
You're
Muriel,
not-
you can't
you're
stabilize him at the
inconvenient.
moment unless you shove some potion down his throat. So instead, if you want to redo your action, you can to attack something or whatever, you can certainly do that. Or set something on fire or whatever.
All right, I'll set fires. Sorry, I have an upset baby.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
Okay. All right. So, all right.
All right,
Ooh, look at
trying
that.
to set the robes on fire
4
again.
plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and pick up baby. So let's see. That's
Is 18 going to do it?
So that is just enough. And you have a great success, I believe. So the armor goes up as the fire is burning. So they are completely distracted at the moment, which is going to have positive effects. All right. Good stuff, Muriel. So it has been set on fire, and that's going to lead us to Ashflower.
Yes, I'm going to attack the kobold that is currently trying to kill me.
Okay. Makes sense.
With my small blade, my short sword.
Okay. So you have the skill, and you do have a
I do.
focus. So this is 3d6 plus aspect plus 2. Do you want to spend any of your light fate or anything else? Or you just
Not yet, no.
Okay.
3d6 plus aspect plus 2. Let's roll this. That is a 16.
okay? That will hit.
Excellent
So that means it's a success. It is a
damage, I
standard
believe.
success, I believe. And
Yes.
so at a standard success, that means that you hit your target for full damage. Your opponent
Stop.
hits you for
Sorry,
half damage.
sorry. I would like to spend a light fate and turn my standard success into a great success.
Okay. Complete success. You inflict full damage on your target, and your opponent does not get an action. Okay, so just
Thank
roll
you.
damage then.
Yep.
And you've used up
Which I
that light
believe.
fate.
Yes, so I have one light fate left.
I had you at 1.
Uh,
Did you get another one?
Yeah, when I rolled 6, 6, 6.
Oh,
and
yeah,
6.
that's right. That's right. We've had a lot of those fates going around on this one. All right.
Tell me about it.
Okay.
So short sword, I believe, is 1d6 plus my physical modifier. I believe. Let me just double check this. This is something I feel I should know, but I don't use my sword very often. At least not on anything that fights back. Short sword. Short sword. 1d6 minus 1. Oh, right, yes, because that's my modifier, so it's plus 3, not plus 4. Okay, 1d6 plus 3.
Okay.
1d6 plus 3.
That's true, Poison. Given the cave roof and the other things, we have earth, wind, and fire. That's true. Do you remember?
9 points
Okay.
of damage.
Your sword goes right through its throat.
Excellent.
And it just expires.
Excellent.
And Gorbash rolls in rage.
Awesome. Bear with me while I turn to the right page.
When you kill a kobold, you immediately eliminate all enemies in the room within a 400-meter radius. Right?
Actually, I'd really like to just read you this from the excellent people at Pegasus Spieler. Path of Blood. Woe betide those who stand between you and your target. When you reduce an enemy to 0 life, you can spend 1 light fate to make an attack against another enemy whose threat is less or equal to your initial target.
Well, the answer for that would be another kobold, and there were a couple to choose from. You've got one on Regina and one on Reginald, who's standing next to Reginald.
Who's standing next to Reginald?
Because he just killed him, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to the one next to Regina.
Okay. All right, go ahead and make
so-
that attack. That's good stuff, Path of Blood.
Yeah, thank you. So that's my last light fate. So let's just roll this again. And 3d6 plus agility plus 2.
I think what we've learned here is that heavy use of fate, especially in boss fights, is a good idea for all sides. I think that's what we're looking at.
14, but you do get a light fate.
Okay. Right. I will... A
He
dark
only gets a
fate,
dark fate. He is the.
Oh,
you know,
dark fate. Sorry, yeah, I'm doing
Dark
it now.
He's-
fate. Okay,
he's the
14
one that
will hit,
cannot be
though.
meant-
It's a
It
standard
will hit.
success.
Excellent.
So you are going to do damage, and then he will inflict damage on you as well.
Okay. That would be 8 points of damage.
Okay. 8 points of damage is going to be more than enough to kill him. He will hit you as he goes down. So you see the assassin kill twice. Okay.
Just set the scene for you right here.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
no, it's
see
good.
Ashflower's sword just slice through a kobold, and then all of a sudden, as if from nowhere, just this streak of movement as he moves towards Regina, and then a kobold just falls over, flailing in front of Regina.
It does
You
5
see
points of-
Regina staring at you, mouth open like,
Wow.
More than making up for getting stuck on a windstill for most of the fight during the
Yep.
church.
See, I've learned.
Yep.
This is 5 points of damage, Ashflower,
Okay.
and I think you've gone through your armor, so I think you
I
just
have,
take
yes.
this. So you're at
I'm
10 out of
on
19.
10.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, but there's another kobold down, so now there's only one left.
So we have one regular kobold, one wizard kobold on fire, and one big kobold.
Very angry big kobold, yes.
Yep. Okay, cool.
All right, good stuff. Okay, that leads us to Reginald. So, Reginald, for this one, you're going to have to make a death test. You should make it, because if you get a 6 on that Kismet die, then you would come back. So you're going to be using Resolve, I think you said. And
Yeah,
it's difficulty
and
8.
So technically impossible to fail even with triple ones.
True. The only reason I'm asking you to roll is just because of that Kismet die.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
hey, Tim Coolish.
So.
Wow.
Oh, come on!
Wow. I mean, it's a great success.
It's an extraordinary success.
It's an extraordinary
God, no.
success. You're extraordinarily not dead.
It's extraordinary that I didn't get up after that.
It's extraordinary that I did all of that. You wander through the unconscious realm some more, but you do not die.
It only goes up by +1 each time, so statistically speaking, I can hold out for a while longer. But RNG gods may have other plans.
But actually, this is striking me about what a good idea it is that you're the major healer, because as the ghoul, you're sort of the one that takes the longest to die also, because you're already dead. So, like, okay. So, good stuff out of Reginald in that saving their moment. And now we are back up. Let's see. Who's left to react? We have one kobold left who has not been dealt with yet. Gorbash attacked Regina, so that he's used his up. Ezeka is completely distracted, so can't do anything right now. So that just leaves the one kobold. And the one kobold left, I think, is on Regina, if I'm not No, you killed Regina.
It's a kobold on Reginald.
On Reginald, who's next to Reginald, that's right. So Reginald, who is not going to pay attention, he coup de grace says, no! No, he steps away and moves over and is attacking Ashflower, who's attacking Regina. Because he just saw that.
There are rules for that right
stuff.
after the death test section.
They do have rules.
I did see that. I got
but
real
the
worried
kobold
when we
is
were
not
all
particularly
looking at that section.
Yeah, but he's not particularly bright. He's going to go stand next to his own leader, who has told him to, asked for people's death. He thinks he's already done his job. Okay. No, Pandora, I wish. Not quite that way. No, I shouldn't say I wish, because the other way works too. If you succeed 3 times, you would be stabilized, but it doesn't work that way in this one. Okay, so the kobold is going to step up and attack Ashflower, so I need Ashflower to make a melee defense test, please.
Absolutely. So this is going to be my melee plus my agility, correct?
Yes, and that's exactly right, Poison.
There we go. And that is a 21, and I get a shiny dark fate, a shiny light fate.
Shiny dark fate, okay.
Shiny dark
All this
fate.
light dark confusion. I wonder if
This
there's
is
something you're
my-
not telling us, Ashflower.
This
you
is
did do
my
Path of
heel
Blood.
turn. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a 21. That is going to be a success, which means you will only take half damage. I believe half damage from that attack. And let's see. Yeah, just a standard 6. So you only take half of the damage. So,
Cool.
attempts to hit you with its pointed stick. That is going to be 3 points of damage.
So I'm down to 7.
Oh, no, 3. I'm sorry. Half of that would be
Oh, I'm sorry.
half. So my bad. Which would be, we'll round that down. So 1 point of damage, my fault. So 9.
So I'm down to 9. Excellent.
Okay. All right, that was the one who did not have a chance to react. Now we're up to the top of the round. State of the field. 1 injured kobold. 1 distracted for a certain period of time. Wizard. It's trying to figure out what to do with its robe that is on fire. And then we have, and actually, yeah, because it didn't have a chance to react, so it'll do that this turn. And then Gorbash, the Kobold Lords. That's what we've got in here right now. I have no Dark Fate. Regina has 3 light. Muriel has 1 light. Ashflower has 1 light. Reginald has 1 light fate. And Reginald is dying still. So what would everybody like to do in this round?
I thought I'd used my last light fate just before I went down when I cast Gust of Wind.
Oh, that Gust of Wind did it. Yep, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
So none.
Okay.
I'd be happy to have one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't.
Save your fate for your life.
I love how honest we all are about this sort of stuff.
So, quick question, because it was just occurred to me. If I roll a 6 for my stabilization, do I get a light fate?
Yes.
I mean, it's a 6 on the Kismet die. I checked. I couldn't see any.
If it's a 6 on the Kismet die, sure.
Yeah.
If it's
so
just a 6 normally, though, then the answer would be no,
No.
I would say. Yeah.
But to stabilize, you have to roll a 6
Oh, yeah,
on
that's
the
true.
Kismet die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
yeah. I
So
think
would
so.
the rules stack?
But that seems.
Yeah.
It feels
I mean,
right that he would like
I think it's right.
stabilize and get a life
Uh-huh,
fate. I
I
think
agree.
like
That,
for
that
my
yeah,
feeling for that
actually,
season,
thematically, that
right.
makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Fate favors him.
I agree.
Not dead.
Fate favors the bold. Okay. So what order do people want to go in, and what do they want to do with Reginald / the rest of the people in the room?
I mean, if no one's going to do anything to me specifically, I may as well take my test first, because I might get, well, if I get HP, get up, and then immediately get knocked back down again. I've been here a couple of days ago, right, Pyron?
I get knocked down.
I'll go
Funny
last.
you should mention that, Saber.
I mean, I could still like
Exactly,
chuck
Pandora.
the unknown potion into you. Just saying, we still have the unknown potion. If you want,
We
just, you know.
Well, I don't really get a say, because I'm unconscious.
Just okay. Well, I still want to poke the big kobold because I really dislike him, and also I want to have killed a bigger kobold than Ashflower.
Okay, so Regina
I
has
mean,
got
that's
that.
fair.
So she'll go first. Then we've got. So do you want to go next, Reginald, or do you want to save it? Do you want to wait until the end, or?
Well, my main concern was getting back up again, going, I live! And then getting like a reaction hit in the
Right.
face when someone misses.
Well, one thing to think about is that if they haven't defeated, if there are enemies left to react, and you go at the end, then theoretically those enemies could pick you out as a target. So waiting might not be the best thing in that scenario. You know what I mean? Or at least it's equal. So
I mean, I can go.
it's up to you. I mean, it's up to what the
Yeah.
party wants.
Well, I was gonna...
We've established the party can't really do much for
Right.
me, sadly.
Other than potentially get rid of that kobold that's standing over you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, the kobold has stepped away from him to deal with you, Ashflower. So at the moment,
that was right.
So theoretically, no one's paying attention to me right
that's
now.
true.
That's
yes,
true.
That's true.
correct.
Okay, I will go after Regina then.
All right.
Most people don't pay attention to dead people. It's just you. You do that.
I'm used to it. Yeah, exactly. That's your job.
Yeah, that's your
Started off looking as a corpse.
Muriel and Ashflower, which order do you want to go in then?
My grand design is just to stab a kobold in the face and potentially stab another kobold in the face. So I'm not sure what Muriel's plan is.
That fires.
How many of these can you do, Muriel?
I have 5
All.
points.
All of
So
them.
I can do 3 more.
Okay. Okay. As far
I
as
was
you
just
can
trying
tell,
to calculate the flammability of cave rock.
exactly. Speaking of fire, this is beginning to rise a little bit. The smoldering is beginning to rise a little more. Okay, so do you want to go after Reginald then, Ashflower?
Yes, because there is potentially going to be less targets after I've gone.
Okay.
If I can hit and kill this kobold.
Okay, we shall see. Let's start with Regina. All right, Regina, you're going after Gorbash, the Kobold Lord,
Yeah.
and you'll be
And
happy
I'm
to know
willing
that
to
I can't boost his threat this time. So
Yeah. But I still
Oh.
can. So I'm gonna use another light fate here.
which brings you down
Because-
to what? To 2?
To 2.
Yeah.
Then I'm down to 2. Yes.
All right.
So yeah. I think
Ooh.
I dropped the 1.
That
So I
seems
take 19
logical.
and I get another and I get my light fate
Yeah,
right
keep
back.
your life.
That is correct, and also that will hit. That is a success. It is
Okay,
a
finally.
standard success. So that means that you will do your damage to it, but also it will be able to do some damage back to you.
Can I now spend an additional light fate to trigger a special ability?
No, 1 per opportunity. Right?
Okay.
Unless it says something like, no, even so,
It's-
because it wouldn't be you can't do it like on hit.
I think it's an effect of the roll. I think there is something about abilities in the light fate table. As a
I have a thing that
exception.
says when you roll a standard success, which I just did, or better, you can spend light fate, and I would like
Right,
to do
to
that.
make it into a great success.
No.
Yes.
I'm talking
You can
about
spend
mighty
light
blow.
fate to alter your die roll in one way.
No,
you
no,
can activate 1 special ability, and you can activate 1 special quality.
Right, no,
so
the
potentially
issue-
you can have up to 3.
Yeah, the issue is not that. Oh wait, because I was going
I'm
to say the
going
issue is the fact that she already used a light fate initially on this attack.
Yeah, but that was
Yes.
to modify a die roll.
Roll, and now I
Yeah.
want to activate my mighty blow special ability.
Oh,
The game
I
says
see.
there are so you can technically trigger up to 3.
Because of the 3 at the same time. Okay, yes, then go
Yeah,
ahead.
so
Then
you
use that
can't
second
affect a
life.
die
One
roll
ability,
in
one
separate
quality,
ways,
one die
yeah.
roll. They can all
Okay.
happen in the same turn.
So that will bring you down to 2 light fate
Yeah.
after all, because
Yeah.
all right.
Yes.
Okay. So great
And
success
this means
then, right? Or what is it?
I lower his armor by 2 points
Ooh. Okay.
before resolving damage.
Before resolving damage. Okay.
Do you just stare at it really hard and it's just like crumbles?
Okay. Let's go ahead and do that.
I just
all right,
I do a thing like ha! And now I'm gonna do the damage roll. I use my two-handed weapon 2. That is 2 additional points of damage. So it's 1d6 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4. So 1d6 plus 7 plus 2. 1d6 plus 9 damage.
Okay. That's a lot of damage.
Yes, that is a lot
Dang.
of damage. I mean, if I have not miscalculated. So wait, let me check. No, this is already two-handed. Sorry. It's plus 3. It's 1d6 plus 7. I'm
Okay,
sorry. 1d6 plus 7.
All right, go ahead and make that roll.
Yep. But this
Let's
is
see what
correct.
happens.
12.
Okay. So you blow through what's left of his armor now, and now damage has been done directly to him. And let's see. Okay. So you hit him, and he is not happy about it. And he roars
Did not
angrily
expect him to be.
as you slash off his armor. Roar! And he will attack you. He will attack you back. You'll only take half damage from this attack. So that is. So you're going to take 6 damage minus. So 3. You take 3 points of damage back, Regina. So that has you at
Takes me
11
to
now. I think?
11. Yes.
All right, good
But
hit.
he
Regina.
also used his action, which is what I mostly wanted him to
That's
do.
exactly right. Which is an interesting, like, tactical aspect of this. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. That leads us to Reginald. Reginald, meanwhile in the land of the not living.
Well, 13.
All right, 13. Does that mean I get another Dark Fate?
I assume so. That is a Kismet die.
All right.
It works
wish
both ways,
Wish I'd been able to
unfortunately.
use that Dark Fate earlier. Okay. Okay. So there's that. So, all right. So you are, again, still not dying. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Difficulty 10 next round.
Exactly, Rudnell. She rodad that armor right off. Okay, good stuff, Reginald. Still surviving. I'm still standing. Okay. Ashflower, or still prone in this case. Ashflower, you were up next. I think it's time for you to bring the assassin noise down upon these people. You're muted, I think.
I am muted. Yeah, so I'm going to not the kobold wizard, the standard kobold that was next to Reginald and walked up and tried to pick a fight with me. I'm going to try and stab that one
That's a good
clear
call.
in the face. So short sword attack, 3d6 plus that, which is this. Let's roll. 20, and unfortunately you get a
Oh, you
dark
guys are
fate.
so generous. All right. So, okay. So that's a 20. All right. That is a success. You'll be happy to know.
Excellent.
And so, go ahead and roll your damage, and then it will get half damage back on you.
Yep, 5 points of damage.
Okay. You'll be happy to know that it dies as a result of that. It
Excellent.
will do
what
to you.
slashing damage does it do as it goes down?
Right. So as it strikes, it like strikes out with you and hits you in the leg for
Yes.
3 points of damage.
Okay. Is that total?
Regina
points
looks-
of damage, or are we half
Regina
of that,
looks-
Did you say?
It would be half of it, so it's 1. Yes, thank you. So
So
8.
1. That's okay.
Regina
Regina
looks
what?
slightly frustrated.
I haven't killed this thing yet. It only counts as 1. All right.
That still only counts as 1. Also, I'm allowed to spend this light fate, my final light fate that I earned earlier, as I immediately. There is a moment where I'm not looking at the wizard, and then all of a sudden Ashflower is looking at the wizard,
Oof.
but no one saw me turn. There's just this like Terminator 2 morphing-esque motion where Ashflower is suddenly looking at the wizard, and now
The wizard is looking at her flaming cloak, in fairness, so I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
what,
fair.
but
That's fair. So I will roll this against the wizard, which is a 18 and doubles.
Yep, and it
That's-
was not
that's-
boosted, so that is a great success. Full damage. What's up, Regina?
Question: Is the but isn't it? Doesn't it have the threat level to have to be the same or less than the kobold you just killed?
Oh yes, thank you for that.
Oh, it's
Sorry.
So yeah, can I just check the threat level?
Yeah,
of
it's no, it's
the-
not. It is higher. So
Then I cannot do that. So are there any creatures here that have a threat level?
No,
lower
not
than
anymore.
only kobold? Okay, then I take back my light fate.
Yep, that's a good
Then
call.
I
It has
do
to be
nothing.
equal to or less.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
It really is
take
kind of
my
like a
light fate and
minion
I go
slaughtering
home.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
It's no. It's crowd control rather than anything else.
Yeah, and I appreciate, again, the honesty. I have reciprocated in the past and will do so again in the future. Okay, good stuff, though, Ashflower, bringing down the other kobold. That leads us to Muriel, who is going to set something else on fire as soon as the baby is done shaking.
My guess is she's going to...
He's been so mad, and he just started falling asleep. So now I'm like, okay, we're gonna bounce.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Mr. Clubless Kobold seems to be not as on fire as I'd like him to be.
He, though,
So-
is almost... He really doesn't have any clothes, though, as such.
Does he have anything on him? Because it needs to be an inanimate object.
Well, see, no,
Has
because
armor.
a certain... no, the armor has been completely obliterated by Regina, and the club has been obliterated by our friend Reginald. So he's basically naked.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are mean. You're beating up a naked kobold.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm
This-
trying.
I know.
I'm just trying.
Listen, where you come from, this may be frowned upon. Right here, this is street justice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else you could look at, because the ones that are left are Gorbash and Azika. Azika's technically already on fire. I don't think you could set anyone any more on fire.
I could try to make Mr. Big Kobold go to sleep.
Well, I mean, that's certainly a positive.
Okay, we'll try that.
Okay. So, your sleep spell. Let's see.
Oh, I got a 17 on it.
Okay. 17. So he has to defend. Let's see. Against his threat? Is that what it's against? I'll look it up.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I didn't get it because someone upped his threat.
No, not this round. I didn't. I didn't have a chance to. So that is more than is needed. So when that happens, let's see what occurs to that dude. He obviously goes to
He
sleep.
falls asleep until someone shakes him, or until my craft minutes run out.
I mean, I could walk up and shake him in the brains with my sword.
So he falls. He's like, "What are you?"
So, quick point of order. Would you say the fact that he's been put to sleep would count as him being unconscious?
Yes.
Because he could be coup de grace.
Yes. That's finishing touch, isn't it? Or finishing blow.
Yes.
Careful what you wish for.
Just saying.
Yes, he could. I think
All
that's
right.
theoretically
All right,
true.
Sambalat.
Why should I be the only one with the sword of Damocles over my head?
But presuming we don't coup de grace him, he's asleep for 5 minutes.
Okay, good to know.
It just says
all right, so-
unconscious. I suppose it depends whether the game differentiates between being asleep and being unconscious.
No,
as
I
two
mean, I
different
certainly wouldn't.
states.
If you're doing that, I would say that if it fails, because the finishing blow, because the individual can respond by spending a light fate. The individual could also respond by spending presumably a dark fate, I would think, to avoid that. But a finishing blow, yeah. So you could theoretically do that. You could make things where, like, you have a dark fate. I have a dark fate that I can use to keep him from dying. That means that I'm having to use up my dark fate to keep from being coup de grace. But you have to do a finishing blow is a full action to accomplish, and it can't be done until next round. So we'll figure out what you want to do next round. In the meantime, he's asleep, which is good news for you. So good stuff, Muriel. He responds with his action by falling asleep. So he's like, oh. So that's that from Muriel, and that brings us up to the top of the round. Azika did not get a chance to respond, and what she's going to do on her action, not surprisingly, is to put out her cloak. So she stops, drops, and rolls. Rolls out. And now you can see there are flames on the back wall of the cave smoking near the bedding. So Azika rolls back to her feet, sees Gorbash lying on the ground asleep, and that's going to bring us to this round. So Gorbash and Azika are all that are left. Regina, what does everybody want to do? So Regina, are you poking the sleeping thing, or are you going after the wizard?
I may as
and all
well
that?
test first this round, I think.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yep. Okay, so you can test first. And then Regina, Ashflower, Muriel, what order would you like to go in?
Ooh.
First.
I'll go last, just in case I need to put him to sleep again.
All
I'll
right,
go
that's
in
the
the
same
middle.
order, so that's fine. We can do that.
Well, the thing is, luckily Regina knows about the sleep spell thing because she has seen it before.
Oh, that's true.
So she knows, yeah, because we did this with the Beatles.
All
So
right.
she's gonna poke Mrs. Female Wizard here.
He's gonna poke the wizard. Okay. Oh, hold on.
Okay,
I hear a
so
sun.
let's roll my test.
That's the important questions. Also, can I have a lollipop?
Yeah, can I have one as well?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the lollipops.
Yeah. Have we been good?
Don't ask mommy; she will say no.
Yeah, definitely don't ask mommy. I know this as a mommy. I say no.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm.
Do you not normally say ask your father? Like,
I don't actually. I'm very no.
fair.
It sometimes happens in this household that the younger son, the 5-year-old, that he goes like to his father, like, can I have that? Have you asked mommy? No, because she would say no. That's why I'm asking you.
He's just like, wow, yeah.
The only time I say go ask your father is if I need him to help her get it, because I've already given her
Oh, I
permission to have it.
see. Yes, you can have that, but your father's going to get it for you.
Exactly. Like my
Yeah.
hands are full. I'm covered in chicken or something. Like I'm always cooking. I'm always cooking, and my hands are gross. And she's like, I
Yeah.
really want this thing, and I'm like, I can't get that for you right now.
He's like, I'm literally covered in salmonella right now. I can't do this.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Did you bring enough lollies for all of us?
We
I did-
asked.
a lot of them have been used up. This is still using up Halloween candy. We're well past,
Wow.
that time. Well, the kids kind of forget about it sometimes, and so we're slow performing. Eventually, we're just going to get down to the garbage candy, and that's the part that nobody
Yeah,
wants.
that's
We're
really
like,
hard. We use it for like. Do you also build these little cake houses in Christmas time?
oh yeah, gingerbread houses.
Yeah,
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 we just
gingerbread
got a kit
houses.
for that.
Gingerbread.
Yeah,
You can like glue it on there.
that's true.
The garbage candy.
That's a good
because
call.
that's a good
nobody
shout,
really
yeah.
wants to eat the gingerbread houses, so you can use the garbage candy for that.
Okay,
Live
so
pro
we got Reginald going first, Regina, Ashflower, Muriel. Sounds good. Reginald, make it happen.
Well, yeah, I just rolled, so I got a 17 and a 1 on the Kismet die. So
Oh.
I'm not dead. You get a dark fate.
Oh right. Oh yeah. For this dark fate, incidentally, well, I need to save one to keep this dude alive. I'm going to
No,
up
you
Ezeka's
don't.
dark fate. I'm going to Ezeka's threat. Okay, so I have done so. So I have 3 dark fate remaining, and have used 1 to boost her. I will not boost Gorbash because I need to save those to keep him alive. All right. Great. Let's good stuff, Reginald. Let's move on to Regina. Regina, you were attacking the wizard.
Yes, I attack the wizard.
All right. Go
Let's
ahead
attack the wizard. And I'm gonna spend a light fate again because I still have them, to roll 4 die.
That will bring you down to
Dice.
1 light fate.
Okay, let me see. That would be 4d6 plus 6. There we go. Boosh.
Wow.
I get the light fade right back,
Man, you unbelievable.
and
How many times
and
has
this
that
time I
happened?
drop.
These
I don't.
rolls. Jeez.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna drop the 6 now. This is
Yeah,
crazy
no, I
talk.
mean-
So I'm gonna drop the 2 and 20. 20? Come on,
20 is enough. Yep, and it's a good thing you got a 20, but it is enough. All right, so you hit with a great success.
With a standard success because I dropped the 2.
You have 6 and 6
Oh,
there.
Oh yeah, 6
rolled
on the
2
Kismet
sixes.
dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Complete
Yes,
success, full
great
damage.
success. Great
Full damage.
success.
Make
There
it
we go.
happen.
1d6 plus 7. 10.
Okay, so 10. Okay, so cuts right through her scaly hide. Okay, that is a solid blow. Zeka looks quite hurt, not dead, but quite hurt. Okay. Now, interestingly, because there is no response possible on this one, so technically she still has a response left. No, she doesn't because of the... No, never mind. So, all right. So, that's Regina's good stuff. Badly hurt Azika there. That leads us to Ashflower.
Ashflower is going to, in a weirdly practiced motion, flip his short sword around so it's in a downward stabbing motion, walk over to Gorbash and try and stab him in the throat.
All right.
With a finishing blow.
Finishing blow, which I think just works except for the spending of the Dark Fate.
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't have a Dark Fate, he dies. And if you do
have
have a Dark Fate, he doesn't die. But you probably get to decide how he doesn't die. Maybe the blade doesn't cut quite so deep or get stuck in a rock or something like that. I like that it says it can get stuck in armor, but we're basically just killing a naked kobold at this point.
Yeah, seriously. As your knife comes down, I would say he kind of and he kind of throws his arm over, so your blow goes slightly wide, because he's just did that in a dream, and so kind of stabs in the ground. You're like, oh, damn it. The interesting thing too is if you try to do a finishing blow, what wakes him up? Because you'd think that would wake you up, wouldn't it?
It just says shaking. Another character has to use their action to shake vigorously.
Or attempt to eliminate your life? I don't know. It feels like it's the kind of thing.
Oh,
that
if
would
it doesn't hit, do you
it doesn't
even know
hit
it
him. That's true.
happened?
It's true.
Exactly,
true.
right? It doesn't hit him. I
So
missed.
waking him up, if you succeeded in hitting him, that would wake him up, except he's already dead. I got it. All right. So,
Yep,
but you managed to avoid it. I'm glad I saved those 2 Dark Fate, those 3 Dark Fate. Now we're down to 2. All right. So good attempt. Didn't work out, but you knew this. Work going in. Muriel, that leads us up to you. You have got, I think, 2 spell points left, maybe something like that.
Yes, I do.
Okay. So you've got Azika there with Regina right on her, and you've got Gorbash on the ground as Ashflower is stabbing down at him.
So is Zika still on fire?
She has now been put out, so she is no longer on fire. I would say her cloak is basically mostly burned away, though, thanks to your previous fire.
Well, let's see if all of that stop, drop, and rolling made her a little sleepy.
Okay. Let's do it up. Now, the sleep on this, remember her threat is higher because of the Dark Fate.
That was a terrible roll.
Oh.
I'm getting such bad
I don't know what you
rolls.
mean. I think it was fine. 3 Dark Fate. All right, so that is sadly going to be a 14, which is not enough.
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry.
Might not even have
And
enough
I needed
with
to
standard
announce
threat.
that I wanted to use a light fate before I rolled, so now it's too late.
Yeah, because it's not even like a success you could boost. Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah.
You got that 1 light fate left. Yeah, definitely heavy use of light fate in these boss fights for sure. Okay, so that does not work sadly this time. You have 1 spell point left. That is going to bring us up to the top of the round. Gorbash is still asleep. Azika is badly hurt. Reginald is still dying. What do we want to do this round? Do we want to say like second verse, same as the first? Like Reginald does his thing, and then Regina tries to stabby, and then Ashflower tries to finish off Gorbash, and then Muriel tries to put Azika back to sleep? Like, are we going to do the same idea, or?
Pretty much, yeah.
That feels
Yeah,
like a
come on,
good
steady,
repeat.
steady.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Reginald, you're
Actually,
up first to see if
we
you can
could let
stabilize.
them go first, because if they score 2 kills, we're technically out of combat, which might be a bit more favorable for me.
Okay, so then we'll do it the same, except Regina will go first. Reginald will go last. All right, Regina, let's
On
do
it. I'm spending a light fate again, just same as last time, which was horrible. 16.
16.
Against the wizard again.
Against the wizard. Oh, right. Who does not have? Oh man. Did I want to give her the threat? Nah. I'll save it because we need it. I need to keep this Gorbash alive.
Tink, tink, tink,
Okay.
tink.
And let's see. And did Azika did Azika have anyone attack? No, because it missed. So that sleep was a miss. So okay, Azika's reaction on that sleep miss.
I hit Izika with an.
Oh right, you did.
with a
That's
great
right.
success.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so never mind then. So with a 16, so that means that she's back to her normal threat. That's enough to hit her then. So that is, and it's also doubles, even though it's 2 1s. So.
No, I dropped a 1.
Oh right, so it's just 1, 5, and 4.
Yep,
So that would be a
just
16.
standard success.
Yep, that's standard success. So she will do damage back to you, but you will hurt her. Go ahead and roll your damage, and we'll see what she does.
9.
Okay, 9. All right, she's going to do. Let's see. 3 rounded down, so 1 point of damage to you, Regina. So that brings you down to 10, and you're
Yep.
going to do 9 to her, and that means that you hit your target for full damage, and she, with a cry, hits the ground and does not move. She is dead. So
I say, ha!
there we go. Yeah, good stuff. Okay. And that means we just have him. All right. Let's see. That's going to lead us back to, or it's going to lead us to Ashflower now. So Ashflower is going to try to do the same.
Yes,
Coup de
I
grace.
take my sword. I'm just like, after I missed last time, I'm like, huh, that normally works. Okay.
And so he's like, ugh, and arm brushes the other
Tink.
way, leaving him with 1 dark fate.
Question,
Okay.
could Ashflower not just have attacked him like regularly?
Yes, the danger there is that if he hits, he could, unless he kills him off, then he could wake him up. He would definitely wake him up. So, like,
But if I hit him with a finishing blow, he never wakes up again.
that was the theory.
Yes, which I would like to remind everyone, anyone who is near him can do.
I was busy, by the
That's
way,
very true.
with the smoldering wizard thing.
That's very true. But
Um,
next round is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, unless I get
Well,
more
like-
dark fate from you people.
No one
You
roll
can't
any
keep
dice.
dark phasing forever, Arv.
Yeah.
Someday.
We're
Okay.
just gonna play the numbers here.
Just-
okay, we
I
got
just love the
this.
image of just rolling back and forth, like just like in his sleep. Like, God, stop doing this. Okay, Muriel is up after Ashflower.
I mean, he's already asleep. I got nothing, man.
It's true. Well, I mean, unless you want to
just-
walk up
I-
and also finish blow him. I mean,
I just
don't know.
hand Muriel a dagger.
Like,
It's
you do it?
I'm going to teach you the finer art of murder.
See, you aim for this. We call
I'm
this
like holding the
jump
dagger by
move.
the wrong end. I'm like, it's sharp. How do you hold this?
I'm just, no. Oh, never mind. Give it here.
No, it's up to you, Muriel.
Just
That's what you want to do.
replace it with a book. Well, there you go.
Oh, thank you. I can do this. Yes, that's fine.
You just give him a very fierce paper cut.
Yes. It was pointed out to us that the cave is still on fire.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's getting
No,
more
like-
and more.
We could always just pick up Reginald and go, right? Because like this guy's asleep and he's gonna be on fire. That's an option.
True.
Is anyone cool with that option, or am I the only one who wants to take my very flammable books and go?
Leaving behind that chest.
That big
The
table with
shit.
books on it.
Yeah, all those books that are going to burn. I mean, they're going to be cobalt books, but you know.
Is there any pick-upable fire, like sticks that are on fire with a non-burning end?
It would
Those
be the bedding, but the fire's bigger than that now.
Do you mean like an improvised weapon?
Yeah, I was just
pointy
gonna
weapon.
like put fire on top of him.
Brutal.
That will damage him and also wake him up.
I
But
mean,
it
it
will
would wake him up. I
definitely
just put him back to sleep after he's been on fire for a minute.
It's up to you.
Yes, Ashflower and I can both poke him.
True. I'm just like, what do you think I'm trying to do?
Wait,
Why
I feel
won't
very
this
vindicated by the
thing
fact that
die?
you couldn't hit him
You're
twice
right.
while he was lying down.
like, because
He's
I try
not
to
staying
poke him,
still.
if we're all trying to poke the unconscious guy, how many times in a row can Dark Fate save his life?
You have a feeling about one more time, actually, unless other fate is given to the heavens through,
I
Unless we
I
do
feel
anything
like
to
we
roll
were-
the dice.
I think this finishing blow roll only is for PCs and not for NPCs. To just say this is really
Mhm.
weird.
I'll keep that in mind the next time we're in a similar situation.
Yeah.
All right. No, seriously, Muriel, what would you like to do?
Sorry, I was just looking at what my weapon is. It's a mace, so I run up and try to mace him in the face.
Yes, clubber him to death.
He's like,
Yes, we will
"Ugh."
clobber.
He
Yes.
he
Be a
shoves
clobber.
away your mace, which clangs into the ground. He's
because I know he's gonna do that. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying.
All right, that brings us up to the top of the round, and it's now smoking. So I'm curious as to whether now all the party just gathers and is just all like, this is a bad out of the Hotel California. They stab it with their steely knives. They just can't kill the beast. All right, are you
Cue
all
the queen.
Are,
Like
yeah,
Shaun
right.
of the Dead.
Are you all like surrounding it and trying to kill him while
Yeah,
Reginald
pretty much.
waits?
We're just yeah.
Okay, so
Well, if you're all fine with surrounding an unconscious being and basically slaughtering it, that's fine. Ashlar's got no problem with this whatsoever.
Mhm.
I have reservations, but I'm really worried about my book.
Well, you have at
I
least
still
one
need to
person
roll
who
though,
will
don't
be.
I?
Yes, that's
I
that.
yes,
Not. Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. In this.
yeah,
round,
because I
too.
was going last
Yep,
in
yep,
case they managed
Yes.
to.
All right.
Why'd you mock me with these rolls?
Wow. But it's successful. What is
Yeah,
the
I'm
difficulty
not
on
dead,
these now?
and you don't-
Saber,
It's
what are you
up to difficulty 12.
12. Okay. All right. I would not wait much longer. Next
Yeah.
round. So all of you are in. Like Regina, who's going first and second?
Me, I'm gonna kill Gorbash.
And no dark fate for you this turn.
Yeah,
I know.
It's fine. I'm just gonna cut his throat.
All right. So you bring that down, and he is like, and he expires. So the good news is that Gorbash indeed is one finally dead. So that's the good news. The not as good news is the fact that although you are technically out of combat, and actually not quite out of combat, you have the other stuff that's in the room. So, and the fire is now beginning to look alarmingly large. So, that's licking the back of the cave. So the question is, what do you want to do? Because you've got Ashlar went, so Regina and Muriel, you still can go before Reginald has to do his roll. So what do you want to do? Do you want to like run over and like grab stuff and then pick him up and leave, or like what are your plans to do with it?
I want to realize that Reginald is down. Because
Yeah, for the first time you've noticed it, you're like, oh.
like, where's Reginald? Like, so I
Did
fly
someone
over to see
send an
what...
assassin after him?
There's a lot of dead bodies where Ashflower has walked, and you are unfortunately in that path. I had nothing to do with that one.
So, I fly over,
Okay.
and like a good dog, I just chuck some alcohol into his mouth.
Okay. Is this the unsure what it was potion?
No, this is Muriel has that. I have just standard like schnapps.
Okay. All right. So you throw some schnapps. So somewhere in the unconscious world, you're now imagining you're in a bar. Somewhere.
Because this is the extent of my medical skills, and I'm willing to use them all for my friend.
Okay.
Even giving him alcohol.
That sounds like a plan.
Just thought something that's not occurred to me for the entire combat. I forgot about Boots. I don't know if Boots would be able to do anything to help me.
Oh, boots.
Yeah. For those of you who are unaware, I have a spirit follower of the ghost of our family dog, Boots, who I consistently forget about. I am the worst D&D/RPG pet owner ever.
Yeah. I probably should have reminded you of that too. I didn't think of it.
You say I'm the worst owner, and Arthur's like, yeah.
No, I was no, I wasn't talking about that.
Loveball made it to
okay.
the end of our last campaign.
Now, this is stuff like, let's see, loyalty. Can
And
they
was still the
assist
goodest boy.
with anything?
And as we progress through Ghosts of Saltmarsh, I'll have pet cannons.
Pet
Mhm.
cannons. I'm really hoping I can just find like a displacer kitten, just a kitten with extra limbs and tentacles. Seriously, if you've never seen a displacer kitten, just Google D&D displacer kitty. They are adorable.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, we're gonna have
But
to
it's
remember
back
that
with the
because
illithids where you found it.
we have to remember him, Saber, because you can use him even to like theoretically assist. Although you'd be using some of his loyalty to do that. In any case, he doesn't have anything to help you with the healing at the moment.
Fair enough.
Hey, what's up, Takanji? Okay, so that leads us to Muriel. Before Reginald
Sorry,
makes his
I was
roll.
looking up displacer kitties.
Displacer kitties. I'm hoping Silvo's going to get a displacer kitty from somewhere.
I like it and fully approve. I think you said something of a chest. I would like to rifle, if that's possible.
Okay, the chest is locked, so what you'll need to do is pick the lock. I don't think now tinkering. I want to see if tinkering is one of those things that you need to.
Yes, you need to.
You need to have it. Okay. So
Yeah,
unless you
something
have
I don't have.
tinkering, then there's not much you can do about that.
Unless I could persuade the lock to open of its own volition.
Come
I
on,
have that.
Locke.
I could debate it about all the wonderful reasons why it should come unlocked.
You have a mace, right? That's pretty good at debating locks normally.
This thing is fairly strong, though. It is iron bound, and it looks like
Wouldn't
it
stop
is
you
not.
trying, though.
Okay, well, so then I have to go. Wait, he's a naked kobold. Like, how? Where was he keeping the key? And the other guy's robes burst into flames, and there wasn't a
Do you
key there
wanna-
either. The heck?
How much of an answer do you want from this?
Where's the kobold?
Oh dear.
Yeah, there's the. But what you got in the room is you've got the chest, and you've also got you've got the chest. You've also got that table with some books and so on it.
Table books. That seems like more Muriel's style. I like table books.
Okay. Let's see. So the first thing that there is, so there's a book on it, which looks like it is a kind of a spell book, and has a couple of spells within it. We'll have to talk about afterwards what the spells actually are. And there are also, you notice, behind the books, you didn't see them until you got over here, but they're stacked, the books are stacked up, and behind them, most of those books are about things about, like, that look like various wizardly things written in kobold, mostly, or something like that, sort of, kind of roughly written with kobold handwriting. But there is that one spell book that I mentioned. And in addition, there are also 6 vials of some indeterminate liquid, but it's unclear what liquid this is.
Well, I'm already carrying around a bottle of indeterminate liquid, so let's just add to that.
Okay.
I pick up all the things.
All right, sounds good. That's as much as you're able to do this round, and that brings us to Reginald, who's going to have to try to do this thing. And the flames are now beginning to get very high,
Yeah.
and smoke is filling the cavern.
What was it again? I got to beat 11. No, up to 12 now.
12.
Thank God for that +5 from my resolve. That's
Okay.
what I gotta say.
You are okay again. That brings us up to the next round. Fire is getting high. What does the party wish to do?
Fleet.
I'm using the full extent of my medical abilities, and I will now shout at Reginald.
To shout at him, okay. What
And then
is-
I turn back to the others and say, I think he's not okay.
Yes, I like the plan of grab him and leave.
is that the plan?
I mean, it feels like a good plan. I'm not gonna lie.
And
Especially
where we're
if we
gonna
can't-
leave to?
There
Well,
is.
there's a little path over there.
There is the
That
passage
point.
from which the kobolds came.
Yeah.
Okay. I think like I'm the one with the most strength, so I dragged Reginald.
Yes. You
Okay.
definitely are.
Reginald is dragged.
Dragged,
What?
drugged,
Dragged.
Dragged,
Yeah,
dragged.
Dragged him.
druggen.
Okay.
Moved.
So,
Okay, I first drag
Oh, yeah.
I first drag you, then I drag you. I don't know. It's
all right. So, a passage leads from the eastern wall of the room, and once you get outside of the major sort of, I guess like right near it, and the smoke has sort of died behind you as the flames continue to come. We're going to pull us out of combat here, and you're now in a long, winding passage. It is very dark here, so the light of the fire behind you is fallen. So just to be clear, you've caved in the cavern, and you've also taken out the guy's lair by burning it. So that's
And set it on fire, yeah.
good
yeah.
stuff, and set it on fire. And you're now in this long, winding passage. It only goes one direction, which is nice, but it does go for some way. So the question is, are you going to, rest just long enough to get, Reginald back up on his feet? It took us out of combat, but technically he's still,
Yes.
making
How
saves
long
and
would that
stuff.
take?
Yes.
So if you do just, I think, a regular rest, then short rest would be, I think, an hour, he said, uncertainly.
If you can get me up to 1 HP, I
15 minutes.
can largely take care of myself because I have heal skill and healing kit.
So
I
that's
reckon get as far away from the fire as we can without breathing in smoke, and then just sit and try and basically revive Reginald for 15 minutes.
so 15 minutes.
Reginald with a stick.
So one of
Yeah, pretty much.
and or more can attempt first aid on Reginald, and that one you don't need to have any healing particularly.
Oh yeah.
Although it
100%.
it still says a healing insight. I don't. Yeah, that one I'm
It's
not.
the same thing.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
buy
okay.
that though. I'm going to say because, well, I guess technically you can take a recover action then, I suppose.
That's what I thought you were doing.
Yeah. Okay. So then that would be you doing that actually, Reginald. Nobody else.
Yeah, during a short rest, a character can take 1 recover action.
And that's automatically a great
Yeah, it's
success.
a bit hazy because technically I'm unconscious, which means I wouldn't take an action. But hey, I'm not arguing. I will go along with the DM.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because I still have to figure out this healing situation because I think there's
Yeah,
probably
because
something
otherwise
I'm
there would
missing.
be no way of healing you.
Other than you just
That's-
getting a 6 on a
yeah,
kismet die, which
That
seems
that was
Yeah.
kind of the closed loop I got stuck in when I
Yeah.
was trying to figure things out.
or you'd have to have everybody capable of healing. So I'll look it up in the next point. For the moment, though, we can say, I think
1d6 life.
yeah. So have you do 1d6 life. In the meantime, while you're
Nice.
doing that, Regina and Ashflower and Muriel, what do the 3 of you want to do? So you can also try to recover life. You can try to recover spell points. You can try to refit armor. Which means that all armor points marked with a slash would be restored. Not the X's, but all the ones with a slash. So you could do that if you wish.
Shall I fly back and try to get the chest?
That's a. I don't know. I think something's snoring down the end of that cavern.
It's crackling fire.
Shall I kill it?
Are you supposed to kill it with
Ow.
fire? I don't know what you kill fire with.
Water.
Let's try.
Bigger fire.
More fire.
Here, use this lantern oil.
Yeah. Let me just cover you in kerosene first. Make sure you're really gonna set it out. I don't know if it looks very dangerous. Don't worry about it. I mean,
I'm gonna see if I can drag the chest out of the room.
By the time you get back there, it's practically an inferno, Regina. Your going in there is going to put yourself at great risk.
Can I close the door so I don't have to see it anymore?
It's not a door; it's just a passageway, open passageway. So
Dang.
there's smoke, in fact,
Would've been
billowing
nice.
out. So
Okay, then I'm gonna refit my armor instead.
okay, so you can clear off all the slashes from your armor, but not the X's.
yeah, I might do that as well.
Same thing. You can get rid of the slashes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not the X's. Muriel, what about you?
Spell points, though I'm having to scroll frantically to try and figure out how to do that because I forgot.
Roll 1d6, and you recover that
thank
number
you.
of spell points. Also, you can only take, I think, 1 recover action per day, I believe.
Really?
Actually, a certain number. No, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, okay.
It's different from recover. I'm thinking about life. But for Reginald, for example, I think, I don't know how many recover actions you can take, but there's only so many per long rest, I think, that you can do. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's listed under the combat rules because it's the same action. Same number as your resolve per day. So I have 4 more left.
So you have 4 more of those. Okay, well, that's good. Boy, that resolve was huge for you.
Yeah, I'm really squishy, but I can recover a lot between combat.
Yeah, boy. The other thing, of course, is that when you come back to yourself, so to speak, Reginald, somewhat the worse for your harrowing experience, I would say, you have also now been wounded. You have a wound. And so that means you need to check a wounded box, which means you've taken a serious injury of some sort. You suffer a -2 penalty to all actions while the wound remains. And if you take a number of wounds equal to your medal of resolve, you don't awaken from unconsciousness until one of them is healed, even if your life is fully restored. And so, so you have a wound, even if your life is restored, you still have this one wound you're dealing with until that's addressed. Otherwise, once you're done with this short rest refitting, then the party has to decide. The fire is still behind you. are you moving on through the passageway?
I assume so.
I check on Reginald.
Ow.
You want more alcohol?
Reginald sort of ponders for a moment, just nods.
I give him
Yes,
more
I
of
would.
my precious reserve of alcohol.
Takes a deep swig. It's still up for debate whether alcohol even works on ghouls, but he feels like he needs a drink.
It's not gonna do any harm at this point, really, is it?
He looks down and sees it pouring out of a hole in his side.
Speaking of which, is this wound a visible wound that we'd be able to see?
Probably,
yes.
I imagine, yes,
Yeah.
like a massive hole. I mean, again, it's a bit unclear about how ghouls take physical damage. I like to think the visual is I literally do have a hole in me. No blood, but there's a big hole.
That seems right.
I spy like the big hole and like, well, friend, if you can't heal that before the next sunrise, I would be able to have a look at that after the new sun comes up.
I appreciate it. Got me kid round here somewhere, but the fire, he points at the blazing door that seems to have started somehow. Might want to be moving away from that.
Yes, sounds like a plan, friend. Sounds like a plan.
You see that Georgina desperately wants to help and seems to be thinking. It looks like she's really trying to. And then she offers, I could plug the hole with an acorn. I still have one.
I have no response for that.
I think maybe we should just go. Like, we could just move forward. That might be a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah, Reginald's a ghoul, but he's not an adventuring ghoul, so he's not used to having like massive amounts of physical trauma to deal with.
At least not on yourself.
I press my acorn into Reginald's hand and say, just in case. And then I make ready to go.
You know, I'm actually going to add that to my item list as emergency acorn.
Emergency acorn.
Yes.
It's the last one. I had two, but this is the one that I've left over.
Okay. You all set out down the passageway, and it is a long and winding passageway that is actually quite some distance. In fact, you would guess it's probably a couple of kilometers winding back and forth and back and forth. And at a certain point, you almost despair that you're going to, find a way out or that it's ever going to come to an end. But finally, you see a shaft of light, moonlight actually, right in front of you. And as you kind of push forward and finally stumble out, you find yourself right over here on the eaves of the great forest. You've actually come all the way up through the mountain and over, and have found your way all the way back and outside. The mountain behind you looms, but you also know that you have defeated the great Gorbash. In the next several days, you make your way back around to the village of Dewberry, where you discover a couple of things. First, that the Toad King, having learned of this, has made good on his word and has actually restored all of the miners. The miners have also, although apparently with a great deal of sort of disagreement, decided not to go into the Diamond Cavern anymore. But the Toad King has allowed the miners to go elsewhere in the caverns where they can dig other stuff, just not diamonds. And so the miners seem to be, okay with that, relatively speaking. You are, of course, treated with all kinds of, respect and honor and awe. You are made much of. You obviously don't have to pay for a drink for several days. All of your meals are paid for, all good, like farm-type home meals, solid meals that everybody likes. All of your, even your wounds are attended to, Reginald. So in the end, you are, in fact, healed and restored. And there are two other things that happen that I want to mention here before we close up shop here. The first is that as you are looking in the arcane book, Muriel, what you discover is that it was indeed a spell book of a certain kind, and that the spell book seems to be stuff which was relatively appropriate for what what might have been expected from what you were dealing with. The first of these arcane spells is the Lightning Bolt arcane spell, one which was used quite a bit against you, as you know, in that fight. And so there is now a Lightning Bolt spell that is arcane in nature, not necessarily natural in nature, but it is an arcane spell of Lightning Bolt. The other one, which is interesting, is an arcane spell known as Alchemy that allows you to transform small items into gold, or small assassins into ghosts in the city in Talisman games that are played by Pyron Jade and Darksaber. I made that all up. No, just Alchemy, which allows you to turn small items into gold. But again, both of these are arcane spells, so we'll have to talk about whether or not Muriel is able to use those. The second thing that happens is that on the eve of the third evening, on the part of the third evening, you are enjoying your sort of like a nice, restful evening after having been given yet another amazing meal and another, spectacular, kind of drinks that were given to you and all this stuff. And you were sort of leaning there with your outside of the tavern with your feet up against a chair, all of you. And you do all of that. And then you see someone coming down the path towards the village. And the person who's coming down the path towards you has a cloak over their face. They are sort of medium height, you might say. And she comes up to you and is holding, just like basically a cane, and is walking, slowly, and then comes up in front of you, and you hear from the depths of the cloak, "Well, adventure is all I see. You've proven capable of dealing with toads and giants. But there's more than that you must find if you are to be the heroes we seek." And an old, gnarled hand holds out a rose. It's a largely withered rose, but there are several very obvious thorns on it. And she kind of hands it out to just in the direction of the four of you.
Reginald looks at the rose. Does he recognize it as anything special with his druid training?
Let me have you do a nature test for me, I think.
Okay. I've got non-specialist nature, so that's going to be 3d6 plus 4. Oh, hang on, lost my dice roller. There it is. 15.
You know two things. As you sort of, it says you sort of take it and are just looking at it, right? I think just sort of, right?
Well, look at it because
okay.
It could be
Gotcha.
It could be a dangerous rose, but if it is safe, he'll pick it up.
Yeah, it does. It does look to be like a normal, not normal, but not a dangerous rose. So you pick it up, and all of you look as Reginald. You look at both sides of it, and you notice two things about this. The first is that there is a rumor, let us say, or a legend about certain flowers which come from an area of the world, from the realm, called Grey Mist. It is a dangerous and desperate place. It is a place where used to be very prosperous, but it has been overrun by bandits, and it's sort of it's not the nicest place that you'd want to be. The other thing about Grey Mist is that it's here. Now, all of you, as you know, are basically somewhere around wherever I said the mountain was. Somewhere here. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Here-ish, right? But this rose comes from down here. And the second thing that you notice is that when you take this sort of thing from the hand that is holding it, and you look at it, you can see that even as you're looking at this rose, which could only have come from gray mist, you see it begin to flake and turn to dust and blow away in the breeze, even as you stare at it. And when all of you look up to ask a question of the person who brought this to you, the street in front of you is deserted. And that is where we're going to bring our session to a close for today, with my announcement that the party has reached the level of 3. So you are now level 3. Not level 2, but level 3. And in case you're curious, chat, the next component of this adventure will be called the Tales of the Realm, the Briar Rose. And that is, this next part of the adventure is called the Briar Rose. But they have succeeded with toads and diamonds. Good work, everybody. That was quite a fight. Slowed down a little bit because of all of our, including me, mutual unfamiliarity still with combat as we're getting it down. But still, it was also a boss fight that had a lot of different components to it. And those folks were tough. And the fate, oh my goodness, the light fate to the dark fate to the like fate was like nuts, like the amount of fight that we were using. Rose, R-O-S-E. As in, I consider you a kiss from a rose on the gray. Ooh, the more I see of you. No, I'm sorry. Anyway, but yes, so the Briar Rose. But anyway, the fate usage was crazy. And it turned out it was useful because, man, we need to use it. So the only thing I need to check up on, which I'm going to make sure I do, is I've got to check up on, this healing. Can others heal you in combat? So I will look that up when we get done, because I'm going to write this down actually now so I don't forget. Can others heal in combat? Talisman Adventures. All right, so I will find that out myself because I do want to make sure that we know. But in the meantime, we did succeed, chat, in getting through a lot of this when it was not at all clear that they were going to, especially when Reginald went down. But there were some big moments there. Ashflower's kobold into the kobold kill was really helpful. Regina wailing away. Regina was rolling real well in these, so Regina was just wailing away on wizards and then obviously on Gorbash. And Muriel setting Ezeka's cloak on fire was a big help because Ezeka was doing a lot of damage with those lightning bolts. And Reginald's shatter on the club was hugely important because otherwise Gorbash would have been doing a lot more damage than he was with just his fist. So it was a team effort, all told. Muriel, it was really interesting to see Muriel do her work. And obviously the sleep spell, I forgot to mention that. The sleep spell was hugely important also because it took Gorbash out of the last few rounds of that fight. So big stuff out of Muriel today. How did you feel about today's session, other than having to bounce your baby around the whole time? I'm sorry about that. How did you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next, Jay?
Oh, it's fine. I need to get my cardio somehow, right? I had fun. I'm glad I was able to participate in between bouts of upset children. I was a little bit worried there in the middle that I was going to have to bow out, but luckily everything's fine. So,
Yay!
Yay! As for when the fine folks will see me next, I believe it's next week. Hey, that we're doing this again. So
nice.
Yeah, next week here is where you will see me again because otherwise I am thoroughly unreliable. So that's what we'll be doing.
Good stuff. All right, cool. Wait, you don't mean more Talisman. Do you mean more Talisman?
Isn't it next week?
No, I don't think so, unless
I thought it was the 7th that we decided. Was that not right?
No, because we...
Did we have to move stuff around? Did I get it wrong?
I think she has it right.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're 100% right. That's 100% true. Yes, Talisman Adventures in the 7th and Salt March on the 14th. Yes, that's right. That's right. It is next week. Well, I knew that. Well, then I'll definitely look all this up. All right. Yes, my bad. So, yes,
we have to level up really quickly.
Yes, that's right. You'll have a week to level up. I think you'll be able to manage. So we'll do that. Yes. So I look forward to that. Thank you, Chai. Always a pleasure. Moving right on up the line. Mike, Ashflower, that kobold path of blood thing was good. I think the only issue was that the whole threat thing, or you could have done it a second time, but it would be a little overpowered if you were just like death and then the next thing, death and then the next thing. So, but taking out those two kobolds, as you say, crowd control, minion control, dealing with Gorbash, because Gorbash could have also summoned more kobolds and didn't have a chance because of the fate situation and then being put to sleep by Muriel, which was huge. So there was a lot going on there, but you ended up having quite an important role in that battle. And I love the image of you trying to coup de grace this guy who just kept being like, bruh. You're just like, God damn it. Anyway, it was fun to watch. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
As always, I absolutely loved it. It's nice to be in a boss fight with Ashflower and getting his hands dirty, because last time I wasn't available with the last segment's boss fight, and I think I ended up being on a windowsill for most of it, from what I remember. So I like to be.
What happens when you leave me in charge?
I was gonna say it's all the player.
I mean,
It's the
that's
player.
fair.
It's execution.
Yeah, that's totally fair. If you want to see more of myself, like I said, I'm in a bit of a flux at the moment. As Chai actually said, I might steal that. I am reliably unreliable right now. So just watch this space. You can follow me on social media at Peripheral Mike and find out all the latest from myself. But otherwise, I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike. Hope that things didn't get too much worse, but thanks for fighting it out. Same with Chai. Moving right up the line. Saber, that shatter spell early on from Reginald was huge, and the gust of wind also had an effect. It just had more of an effect than you might have expected because of the gust of wind also affecting the fire and the sparks and all that. But in a way, those combination of things, being prone, knocking people down, a lot of it was just delaying and keeping the enemies busy so they couldn't begin to, because if you get Gorbash swinging his club around and then you combine that with Azika shooting those lightning bolts, she didn't have them unlimited, but she had a couple more that she could have pulled out and used, and those are some serious damage. And we got a chance to test out the death rules, which, as I say, I'm going to try to follow up on and find out the real answer about this soon. But nonetheless, an eventful session for Reginald, I think it's fair to say. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Oh, it was great. I got to sit back and watch everybody do some outstanding work. But yeah, Shatter, I think, has really proven itself time and time again as a really effective opening shot for Reg. So my original plan A before the minions turn up was I was actually going to try and open the rat cages and use my animal handling skill to convince them to join the fight.
Oh no! Well, they weren't just cages; they're just hanging around there on the outside of the
I
cave.
thought they were caged.
Nope,
but,
they were not caged.
well,
but having said that, they also burned to death inside the fire that you all set. So just to be
there
clear.
is that now, and also by the time my next round came around, we had sudden minions in our faces.
Indeed.
So trying to talk to rats in the middle of that situation probably wouldn't have gone well. But the gust of wind is, again, always effective in small areas. It doesn't necessarily... I am the time I one-shotted the group of bats was more luck than anything else, because I don't usually anticipate something like that happening. But it's more, like you say, it's a low area damage spell, which also interferes with enemies' actions. So it's very, very good for that. And I would have been following up with lightning bolts of my own if I'd actually got a third round. Or fourth round. I forget what round I went down in, but yeah. But still, a lot of fun. And as everyone saw, immediately grabbing my book, looking at all the fun things I can possibly do for my level up.
Level 3.
Which we'll see next week, it looks like. But you'll see me tomorrow, maybe Pyron Jade as well, who we were talking about just before this session, maybe doing some of the Talisman board game tomorrow. Because we have a bit of a grudge to settle.
I was going to say. I like how you all were just like, and then you did this to me, and they're like, can we play again? I want to play again.
Yeah, exactly. But so we'll be back here tomorrow. Like probably with Talisman, we're going to try and thrash out the details for that, and I'll be back on my channel on Thursday.
Good stuff. Thank you, Saber. Thanks again for doing Dashboard and MoveBot as always. And good stuff today. I'm glad you made it through. And also, side note, the resolve. Man, the resolve of the dead. You just the ghouls are just like, I don't want to go back to that. I'm not like that. Because you survived 5 tests or something ridiculous. So it was impressive. And no Kismet dice among all of those. While Regina was just going out of style. Kismet die 6. Anyway, good stuff, Reginald, today. And, of course, very good stuff from Regina. Got to see a lot of Regina using up the armor and then taking further blows and still kind of getting through it. And by the time all was said and done, Reginald was down. Muriel had been badly hurt, although then was healed. Ashflower was pretty badly hurt, was pretty, messed up. And Regina was below half health. I mean, they took a lot of damage in this fight. And it was only through a combination of light fate usage and through, clever tactical positioning and some of the spells we've talked about that they made it. So it was dicey, if you know what I mean. And Regina was definitely a big part of making it work work out in the right way, in the positive way in the end. How did you feel with Regina in her glory getting to fight the biggest creatures? How did you feel about today's session, Pyre, and where will the fine folks find you next?
Well, what I've learned about today's session is that I need to use my light fate earlier because I think that could have changed this fight dramatically.
I just learned fate
also,
just gets used a lot. You just use fate all the time if you can, if you have it.
Yeah, that's something. So yeah, use more light fate is what I take from this. And my second monitor just started flickering. I think this is not good at all. Wonderful.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's going like black and on and off again. Okay, and fine folks, yeah, maybe tomorrow with Dark Saber playing some Talisman board game. We will see about that. We need to get some more stream team members on board, and then we'll check if we can do this.
You know what? If I wasn't so completely buried in stuff, I'd totally be down for it. Ask me after the semester in a couple of weeks, and I'll be totally down for it. 100%. Seriously,
end?
I love that game. So, and love all
When
of
does
you.
the
So,
semester end?
of course. Say again. Oh, when does it
When
end?
does the semester end?
So I'm just looking at my dates here. So my last class is next Thursday, but then I have finals until the following week. So like after the 19th.
We'll keep that in mind. Maybe we need to. Maybe we're being too spontaneous with tomorrow's day, but maybe we need to do some advanced planning.
Ooh, yeah. You should do like a big
possible.
charity-based talisman event that's epic. Starts in the morning, goes for like 6 hours, all to benefit some awesome charity that you'd come up with.
I'm still no one's near winning.
6 hours is nothing.
10 hours, 12 hours. Anyway.
So yeah, so maybe tomorrow, but I think I might also be healthy enough to stream on Thursday finally again. I had to skip 2 weeks because I was just out with a really, really bad cold, but I'm looking forward to it. If I'm streaming on Thursday, I can't tell you what I was streaming by now, but it will be there. It will be something, so be there, watch me stream. Thank you.
Good stuff, Pyron. Thank you very much. Great work from everybody. Really enjoyed this today, and I'm looking forward to this adventure, the Briar Rose, and seeing how the party does as they begin to come more and more into their own as we move up the levels in this system. And yeah, I'm excited to see how that works. So, chat, can we get some love for the amazing players of Pyron Jade, Darksaber 2K, Peripheral Mike, and Tasty Chai? And congratulations to the players on having beaten Toads and Diamonds. And we will see these folks with the Briar Rose next week. Good work, players. Thank you all. Talk to you all soon.
Bye
for now. All right. So great stuff, as usual, out of this crew. And yeah, it was great to see it. I am excited that they are back in the mix. And I'm excited that we get to play Talisman twice in a row, actually, because it means that I don't have to worry about going through D&D and then having a very different set of rules that I'm then, I then have like, wait, is that how you do these two things? So I'm glad that we're sort of moving on to that. I really do like this system quite a bit, but it's a different kind, a very different sort of system than D&D is. And so getting used to it when you're doing a lot of D&D in other contexts is, not as easy. So, but I am very, very glad that we got them back in the mix here. And yeah, you're going to see a lot more where that came from. The Briar Rose is pretty cool. Like there's a lot of really good stuff. In fact, let me see. I will show you. I'm going to show you all something. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to show you this because this is from, again, Pegasus Spiele. And, all right, there we go. That is the cover of the new adventure. And I think that's really striking art. Isn't that cool? Tales of the Realm, the Briar Rose. It is the latest, actually, from Pegasus Spiele. So that is going to be that's going to be the cover of the next one that they're doing, and we're sort of tying these things together as we go because the game itself is so new. And so I've been in discussions with Pegasus Spiele, so I want to thank them again for bringing this up. But yeah, I think it's really, really nice, and it sort of gives you a different sense. There will be a lot of lost romance and that kind of stuff here. Not just, things to kill, although there definitely is combat in here, but there's even more to it than that. So you'll have a chance to see more of this image. And what's that? Do I see? Is that another potentially a lay walker there that we see? Or a druid? Who knows? Anyway, Yeah, exactly. It's really pretty, and I'm excited to be able to share it with them next time. But that for me is going to be the end this time. And I want to just notify, I don't think it's actually going to affect any of the GOG.com streams, but I do want to notify everyone that December has been an absolute bear in terms of scheduling. Just a frantic number of literally frantic people doing a whole ton of things. And so, and I myself am extremely busy with the end of semester. I've got a bunch of stuff going on. I've got a game demo I have to do and a bunch of other things. So I got a bunch of stuff happening. So all that is to say that since this is the last stream of November, December, we are going to have a fair number of streams in November. We're going to have on my own channel, we're going to have a Christmas Carol done by my voice team, the Our Vocalists, which we do every year. I'm going to have my family stream where my family plays a family game together on my channel. We're going to have my end of the year game of the year show where I rank all the games that I played this year. We're also going to have our tabletop stuff. We have a couple of charity events happening on my channel, one of which is called Bag of Giving, which is associated with, it's basically run by two people, Mike Underwood and Brandon Crilly, to benefit various charities, and it's a series of one-shots. This next one is going to be DM'd by my friend and my podcast Speculate co-host, one of my co-hosts, Mike Underwood. He's going to be doing Court of Blades is the name of it, with a series of all-stars. So you will definitely want to check that out on my channel. We have some other special events like that happening. I'll also be playing through the Patreon Field Chat Shows and Game of the Month next month. We have some more Metroid Dread on my channel. And of course, over here, we're going to have Talisman Adventures. We're going to have Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And then we will have a couple of Solasta streams on here as well to wrap up the month of December. So yeah, it's going to be very, very busy, but all leading to good things. It's just a lot of stuff right now in the moment. And in fact, now what I have to do when I get done with all of you is stop and go pick up my daughter from Taekwondo and then come back and get ready for another meeting before doing some work on emails and a little bit of writing. So stuff, but it's all good stuff in the end, and I really enjoyed doing this today. If you liked what you saw and heard, please follow us here on GOG.com. Please subscribe to us here on GOG.com, as a few of you did today. Thank you for that. And please as well consider going through to our individual channels and following us over there, and subscribing to us and doing all the Patreon things that are individual channels on the various streamers as well. Otherwise, that's it for GOG.com today. We will be back tomorrow with... I think we've got Lore Witchy, I believe, is going to be playing, but I don't remember what it is that she's playing. Lore Witchy is playing Destroy All Humans. Ah, yes, that's right. Is going to be playing Destroy All Humans on Wednesday. So please stop by for that. Please spread the word and let the powers that be at GOG and elsewhere know if you liked this stream. And if you like the stuff that we do here with the tabletop stuff as well, if you're enjoying Talisman Adventures and Ghosts of Saltmarsh, please let us know. Please let them know as well. And spread the word about this show, because the more people we have in, the better. Oh, thank you, Lone Wolf. That's very kind of you. Otherwise, it was wonderful to see all of you lovely folks, and I will be back here next Tuesday with more of this game at 4 p.m. Eastern for episode 304 next week of Pen and Pixels, and more Talisman Adventures. I'm glad, Tim Coolish. Glad. I love having you in there. Otherwise, I'll see you folks on my channel on Friday. Otherwise, GOG.com tomorrow here with Lore Witchy on Wednesday, and of course, we'll be back here on GOG.com with Pen and Pixels next Tuesday with more Talisman Adventures. Until then, everyone, be good to each other and hang in there, and much love. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.